Hello and good evening, Sector 1 Sim Racing fans from Australia, New Zealand and around the world. I am your host for this evening's broadcast, Atom, and we come to you from Switzerland, Deep Forest Raceway, as we were last week with the Group A boys, where we had some unfortunate issues prolonging the championship race. We had some fantastic action from the Group A Challenge boys, and we come back this week for the Group B Challenge and the Group B Championship, as well as what won't be shown on broadcast, the Championship A race, which we may get updates for you as the stream goes along. Tonight I am joined for the Challenge race in the box, well, temporarily in the box in any case, by Race Director Jim Bob. How are you doing tonight, mate?
Good evening, mate. I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. So Jim Bob has taken the reins for the Challenge B lobby. And he is in control of the server, but he's also racing tonight, so pulling double duty. How do you feel about that, mate?
I'll feel a lot better when I'm in the seat and actually driving, because Gran Turismo 7, being a race director, is not much fun at all.
Yeah, it's a bit of a handful at the best of times. So of course we've currently got the lobby situations as they are. But we've managed to find our workarounds, as Sector 1 always does, so we will potentially have some great action on for you tonight. How many cars do we have for Challenge B tonight, mate?
We have 11.
11, and is that the full grid, or are we expecting more? Or were we expecting more, rather?
I would have thought we had a full grid tonight, but there have been a couple of call-ups as well. So
true. So yeah, guys jumping up and down a bit, aren't they?
Yeah, and with it being Mother's Day as well, happy Mother's Day to all the mums and dads and all the mother figures out there. A couple have had to unfortunately not attend for more important matters, obviously. So that might be all we're running with tonight. So.
Okay, well, I think that means we'll be getting qualifying underway then. So, 11 drivers for our racing this evening. The new system dictates that we start a race and then the drivers all get red flagged and get sent back to the pits, which then takes us back to the practice settings of the lobby. We start a 10-minute timer, and then once the 10 minutes are up, we take out the checkered flag and keep an eye on the guys going across the line, and he who sets the fastest time in that period goes on pole. Standard qualifying rules apply, obviously, keeping it as close to real life as possible, no teleporting back to the pits and such. So you will see what looks as similar to real life action as you possibly could here on Gran Turismo 7. Ups and downs of the game, the graphics are great, the system is great overall, but the lobby systems, they've caused a few hitches so far, but we're doing our best to work with what we got here. Hopefully tonight goes nice and smoothly. So, are we ready to rock and roll, Jimbo?
No.
No. That is not the answer that I wanted to hear. That's unfortunate. Have we got an initializing glitch again, do we?
We certainly do.
Right, so for those of you who are new to the Sector 1 broadcast or Gran Turismo broadcast in general, what we're dealing with here is the initializing bug that often pops up in the lobbies of Gran Turismo 7. So what happens is when you enter a lobby, as you're joining, kind of internet connection and console kind of comes into this. So PS4 versus PS5 is part of the conversation as well. You initialize into the lobby as you're joining. That's kind of the joining process. And then I believe entering is also considered initializing by the game. During this process, you spend a few seconds initializing whichever way it is, and oftentimes the game doesn't register the fact that a player is fully initialized, and you cannot start a race while a player is still initializing. So what the game does is it thinks that a player is still initializing when they actually aren't, and they're actually completely entered, and the lobby host simply cannot start the race. So that's unfortunate for lobby 1. It can be fixed by rebooting the lobby and starting it again. It is likely down to one driver, but I think rebooting the lobby should cover us this time around. So hopefully that's the only bug of the night, but we'll see how we go.
Let's hope so.
Yeah. So last week, was it the exact same thing we saw last week? We had an initializing problem, but it was down to a single driver, I think it was.
Yeah, correct, for the Championship A race.
Yeah, so what happens is so obviously a lobby reset is the first step to fixing the problem. Oftentimes you can get the same drivers in, they'll all initialize correctly, and then the race can begin. But in certain circumstances, when the NAT type of the host and the NAT type of a certain driver in the lobby, for whatever reason, simply do not match up, it can be a case of one driver, for want of a better word, bottlenecking the lobby, which prevents you from starting a race. And if you actually kick that individual driver, you can't figure it out without trial and erroring kicking each individual driver. But if you do manage to get rid of that one driver, the lobby will then work as it should. So it's not the best position to be in, and it's a very hard thing to work around when it comes to a situation like that. And the last thing we want to do is tell a driver, no, your internet sucks, mate. We need to have you sit this one out, because nobody wants to hear that. There's no quick fix to internet, save for rebooting your router and such things like that. You try any more than that, you're not really going to get anywhere. So it's hard for us to say you're going to have to drop out to one individual driver, and I don't know if we'll ever do that. But that is kind of the state of the lobbies at the moment. So hopefully more positive news for the remainder of the night. But we'll get our 11 drivers back into the lobby and get them back on track and try it again. So are we back up and running, Jimbo?
We are back up and running. Apparently we have to let them go one at a time and then see who... if there is a certain driver that is the cause.
Oh, so that's kicking one driver at a time out the lobby and seeing if we can get down to the individual one.
Correct. So
Okay.
We'll just wait. I've got we did do a test up before the stream went off, funnily enough, and it went off without a hitch, so...
Oh, true. You did do
the,
test starts, didn't you?
Yeah, I did do a test start, but unfortunately there were a couple of guys missing, so it must be one of those two.
It could be, or it could be a simple case of the game just having a little bit of a tantrum, which it does do from time to time. So that's also a thing, like I was saying. Sometimes it's not down to the individual driver, it's just down to the lobby not following the initializing procedure accurately. So hopefully that's the case, but we'll monitor it as we go forward. So it looks like everyone's joined the lobby who was here prior. We'll see if everyone gets entered and we get going. So you'll probably want to enter yourself, won't you, Jim Bob?
Oh, yeah, that's probably not a silly idea either. Thanks for reminding me.
No, not a problem. You do have to do some racing tonight. We're not going to make it too easy for you.
So, hopefully... No.
No good.
No good. So
No good.
we will ask.
So that's Mo. Mo has just left. Try it again now. See what happens.
As he doesn't show up that he's left on my screen yet.
Oh no, more GT7 bugs are in the way. Yeah, Filthy's... Oh no, Mo, sorry, Mo, yeah, left on my screen, so I don't know if that's happening on your end either. You can just kick people now, by the way. They added the kick out feature.
Good.
That was well sought after on day one. They didn't have a kick out feature in the lobbies, and they have added that since, so you can very quickly boot someone out.
How do I do that?
You go click on the driver's name, and it should come up with a kick out option.
Oh yeah, there we go. Sorry, Filthy, but you're first cab off the rank, mate.
Oh, poor guy.
No, it wasn't filthy
This
either.
is completely at
no.
random, so we'll just go through them until you get it started. I'll ramble to the crowd. So for anyone who is watching, how are we all doing tonight? We've got a few people in chat. Womble, Greatness, Aiden or Captain Muffin, Bumcrack, Hannah Jane, welcome to the stream, and Josh's Mini Reef, ladies and gents. So yes, Greatness, we're back with the lobby problems.
Hannah Jane, I believe, is the much better half of our very own Sean Ghost Muller.
Ah, yes, I understand. Very good. Here to support. So Sean is back racing with us again tonight, is he?
He is.
Oh,
there we go.
We've just had a race start. So who was that down to?
It was our very good friend Mo Jalen.
Okay. So do we get the others back in, or are we just going to continue with what we've got left?
Yes. So we'll get these guys started.
There's 8 cars on track at the moment, just taking off. So I imagine they'll all get red flagged very shortly. The things we do for a league in Gran Turismo, eh?
Okay, so I have to do it again because I kicked the people out and they can't re-enter once you kick them out.
Right, okay. Well, a lobby reset is not the worst thing in the world. It does mean that we guarantee that we have done a reset as a step, even though we already have. We do it again. You do often get bugs twice in a row. What I haven't seen so far in Sector 1, in the broadcast last week and this week so far, is there's kind of a grid stuck glitch. I don't know if you've heard of or seen that one. But basically what happens is, if you're operating a lobby and you're in free practice mode in that lobby, what can happen is people who enter can not be allowed to go to track, and their cars appear on the grid but ghosted, and they can't drive, they can't do anything, they're just stuck there. So that does happen quite often as well, but it's happened to me many times when I've hosted lobbies, but I haven't seen it yet in Sector 1, which I would say is good news, although I wouldn't count my chickens before they hatch.
Yeah, no, don't do that. That's silly.
Commentator's curse coming in with the bugs of GT7 as well. You know, it's not just an on-track thing, of course.
All right, so we'll try and get this up and running again.
Please bear with us, folks. We're sorry for the delays and such, but such is the way with Gran Turismo 7 at the moment. Hopefully things get better for us very soon. But we're just doing what we can with what we've got at the moment. The Sylvia, of course, the car of choice tonight that we're using for Season 6 here at Sector 1. Sylvia Group 4 touring car, I believe it's called, S15. Fantastic car for racing, driving of any sort. Rear-wheel drive front engine, obviously. Most renowned in history for its drifting pedigree. However, as a touring car, it also was quite successful as well, and it's become a quick favourite of many in the Gran Turismo 7 community, just mostly probably due to the fact that it wasn't in Gran Turismo Sport, and anything that wasn't in Gran Turismo Sport and is in 7 has been quickly popularised as a car that everyone kind of wants to try. It's like having Gran Turismo Sport, but with new cars, really. The other car that comes to mind when we talk about new cars that people have been enjoying is the Radical as well. A lot of people have been having a lot of fun. The Nations Cup combination last night, if any of you took part in that, was held at Fuji International Speedway in the Radicals, and it made for some fantastic racing. Let us know if you had any experience in that and how it went for you. Me personally, I had a great time, and I hope that the Radical will come to Sector 1 in the near future at some point, be it in the community or in a main series in the future. Great racing car, and a great looking car as well, a little open cockpit car. But of course tonight, Deep Forest in the Sylvia. The lap times I think we saw last week from the Group A challenge boys were into the 25s, 1 minute 25s. So a sub 1 minute 30 lap around here, and we're doing 30 laps tonight. In fact, while I'm on the topic of conversation, we've got a little race brief here for you. So here's the information on Deep Forest Raceway. So this is where we're racing tonight. You got your track map there. Switzerland located 4.25 kilometre circuit with 16 corners. Let me count those for you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ooh, there's a little sequence there after turn 6. It looks like it could be counted as 2 or 3 corners. But I'm not sure exactly what they've gone for there. 6, 7 or 8, 9, 10. I only count 12 corners. So every little turn is accounted for by the look of that corner count. So a lot going on. The most important sections, of course, are that middle sector between turns 2 and turns 8 or 10, I suppose, depending on what you're looking at. Turn 1, there's a lot of time to be gained there. Your traction on exit is vitally important, and it is also quite hard on the tyres, being quite a high-speed hairpin per se. It's not exactly a hairpin because it is quite a wide corner. You carry a lot of speed through it, and then the heavy braking zone right at the end into what most people would consider the final corner, although it isn't a straight all the way to the line. There's a couple of corners left there for you as well. The back straight opens up opportunities for overtaking as well. There is a large runoff at the exit of the corner that leads onto that back straight that can be used. Some drivers will use it, some drivers won't, because there's not a lot of traction out there on the AstroTurf. But we'll see what strategies the drivers come up with, of course. 10 minutes of qualifying, which we were discussing earlier for our drivers tonight, so we have to run a little bit of a custom setup for the qualifying, which Jim Bob will get underway as soon as he is able. 30 laps for the drivers with a grid start, as is traditional here at Sector 1. We've been doing grid starts for about as long as I can remember. Tonight, only the medium and the hard tyres are available. Both tyres are mandatory and must be run for a minimum of 3 laps. And I believe the hot tip from last week was a 1-stop strategy. Some people did opt for a 2-stop, which would mean that you could spend a bit more time on the medium tyres, as the mediums were not quite good enough to hold out to 15 laps. And I believe the fuel was barely enough to get you past halfway as well. But we'll see what mix of strategies we get tonight as well.
Yeah, there are a few guys floating around that are running some pretty quick times too. I've been in lobbies all day today, and there have been low 25s from a couple of the championship drivers, and there's been some 26s from the challenge guys. So even though it's Group B, it's still pretty pacey out there. So
yeah, the standards are pretty high up and down Sector 1 at the moment, and I think given the way we sorted out the groups, we just used a time trial from Dragon Trail Seaside in the circuit experience. I'm expecting to see a couple of guys who are kind of too good for their group, or a couple of guys who are kind of off the back of their group that are going to fluctuate up or down.
Yay!
Yeah, race is underway, so qualifying will be underway very shortly for you all. So yeah, a mix of strategies and a mix of times for the guys. So the challenge will get underway very shortly. We're expecting to see into the 25s for the fastest qualifying laps here at Deep Forest Raceway. But we'll see what the guys can pull out for us. 10 drivers on track at the moment. And we'll get down to that qualifying very shortly once they get the red flag for our new system of qualifying. So they'll head around a couple of corners and then we'll send them back to the pits and get them going. And then we'll introduce you to our drivers for the evening. So 10 of us on track for the Challenge Group B this evening. A fan favourite tonight will certainly be Ghost Ops, or Sean as he is more familiarly known among the Sector 1 faithful. Was a very, very popular commentator back when he was the mainstay in the commentary booth, but he has taken a step back from that in the past and gone to a bit more serious racing. So I think people are expecting a lot from him tonight. He's certainly one of those guys who doesn't put a lot of faith in himself when it comes to this sort of thing, and he doesn't always back himself, but a lot of people will argue that the talent is there and the man can do it. So we'll see what he's got for us this evening. Mr. Doriemus, go Baggers in chat. Brocky as well, the 6-time champion. Good luck to all those fair races tonight. Very good, sir.
All right, let's try and do some laps.
All right, so anyone who wants to enter can enter and go now. On to qualifying. So, let's bring you guys over to the race screen now. Here we go. New sponsors this season as well. Go Kanga are on board with us for the challenge this time around. And of course, another important feature that was missed for the lobbies this in this particular game is the keyboard feature for spectators. So we're stuck using a controller at the moment, but that's all right. We'll do what we can with that. The good news about the new overlays, of course, for the stream is that we can run the telemetry for the stream team and not allow the viewers to see it, which adds to the realism a little bit, which we like. So, having a look at the guys on track at the moment, we've got a couple of guys coming in early doors, Carbon Boy coming in off the hard tyres. So, same rules as last season apply in regards to you start your qualifying on your tyre that you want to use for the race, so be it the hards or the mediums, as we discussed before. And then if you want to do your qualifying laps on the mediums, which I think sensibly you would, you need to box for fresh mediums and put them on, and you run them to the end of qualifying. When the race starts, you will be reverted back to the mediums. The hards rather. So, Mo Jalen out on track at the moment on his first hot lap. Malevolent One, who has not pitted, so he is on a hot lap as well. Carbon Boy, P3, so he's on an out lap at the moment. He won't be setting one this time around. Rex098, a new face to the Sector 1 grid. We'll see what he has in store for the boys tonight. Filthy, long-standing Sector 1 member on track in the Blacklight vehicle with new sponsor Ammo. The big new sponsor adorning the doors and the bumpers on that vehicle. Benia of Ascension Racing, new team to Sector 1, sporting the Speed Nation livery, very Japanese inspired, created by Red Mist Designs. Petey Pops, back again in that's the CP Motorsports car, I believe. Running the FGT Light decal on the side, so of course big next level sponsorship for CP Motorsports, one of the bigger teams in the series for sure. And they were home to the 6-time champion, weren't they?
They were correct.
Now retired, of course.
Now retired.
Yep, so they've got a long, rich history at CP, so Petey Pops will have a lot to live up to here, so we'll see what he's made of as he comes down to set his first lap here. 4th gear into 5th gear, down towards the line. You come absolutely flying over this hill here. And across the line, current fastest lap's 26.2. He goes 27.7. So, it's a good early lap there. Carbon Boy out on a flyer at the moment. Mo's got himself a half-second penalty. Benny are on a lap. Jim Bob has just finished his out lap, have you? Yeah. And Ghost, of course. No. Big fan favourite, Ghost. With the new sponsor as well on board, the On Point sponsorship on the side of the car there. So they also sponsor the Championship Series. So Go Kanga obviously a new sponsor for the Challenge Series. And On Point are the new sponsors of the Championship, which we will get to very soon. But Ghost on a flying lap at the moment. Looks like he hasn't set a representative lap so far that he wants on the board. Carbon Boy about to come across the line to set his first time. Here we go. .4 by the looks. About 1.2 seconds off Rex there. So the times are not coming in super quick for these guys at the moment.
I think that 26.2 is going to be pretty hard to beat.
Yeah, getting into the 25 seems to be the optimal time for these guys here. So I think he's right on the cusp of it. But of course, as with any Sector 1 qualifying session, the guys do start with full fuel on board and they burn it off as the qualifying session goes on. So we can expect to see the guys getting down to their fastest laps right at the end here. He's going to continue around. I imagine he'll box for fresh tyres very shortly. We'll see what he gets into here. Down the back straight, big long back straight through the tunnel. It's a gorgeous looking track around here, and of course with 4 times time of day transition here at Deep Forest means we're going to see all different times of the day as we go through, so that's really cool to see. And we do get a bit of fog here as well, which looks absolutely fantastic on the new graphics. So here comes Carbon Boy. He's going to set another time here. Is he up on his previous? There we go, up to P2. Quickly deposed by Mo Jalen though.
Yeah, nice time from Mo.
Up to 6/10 behind Rex as well. Also rocking the CP Motorsport car as well. FGT light on the side there. Next level sponsorship on the roof. The helicopter must be in the paddock somewhere. I'm not sure. It's a long-standing story of the helicopter of the CP Motorsports team.
Just an FYI, I don't know if you brought it up or not. Ghost is starting rear of grid tonight. He was a late withdrawal from the A race last week, so he's rear of grid in the Championship B race tonight.
Of course,
Championship B race tonight.
I should have remembered that. I was told that earlier, but I have forgotten. Thank you to Sam, who's dropped that in the chat there as well. Yes, Ghost will be starting at the back of the grid. So he's not looking to set a super fast time at the moment. So I think he's just lapping for practice on the hards at the moment.
Right, so we've got about 4.5 minutes to go.
Yep, I've got a timer beside me as well, just in case you need that. But Jim Bob, our timekeeper, is on it. Oh, there's a little bit wide there on the exit of turn 1 for Magnet. So here we see on board with our new camera angle here on GT7, a fantastic camera angle that's been added to Gran Turismo here. The in-cockpit dynamic camera behind the driver. So you can see the actions of the driver, and you also get turned into the direction of the following corners as you go around. A lot of sliding action there for Magnet, who doesn't seem to have a super great hold on this car at the moment. The fastest way is certainly to have traction all the way around the track, but he's getting it nice and slidey a lot of the way around. We'll see what he's up for down the back straight here. He heads down, revving the car right out. Up to 6th gear, going to be banging on the limiter all the way at the end. Another change to the Sector 1 system this season is the addition of tuning. So very wide of the apex there as well. So the cars are all operating different setups, custom setups. You can run your choice of turbo between the medium and high RPM turbos that are available in the tuning shop. And then the suspension and gearbox are also completely tunable for these guys as well. So a lot of differences in setups. We can see potentially a lot of the guys going perhaps faster than you might expect them to, or slower than you might expect them to, because they may or may not have a good handle on the tuning side of things. But it looks like the best setup at the moment is on board Rex's car up in P1 there.
Alright, so I'm just giving the guys the 3-minute warning. So with a bit of luck, they should get nearly 2 laps.
Yep, so should be coming around at the end of the next one for 1 more, I would imagine. They've got plenty of time to. But we'll keep an eye on what they're doing. So Rex still currently holding his 26.2. He hasn't managed to improve since, and he's down to nearly half a tank. So he should be able to find a little bit more time in that car. Perhaps he had a slipstream advantage on his first lap. Holding out Mo by about 2/10. Mo in the CP car will be wanting to chase that down and get that pole position. He'll know he can get it. Through the tricky section in the middle there, lots of sliding going on, all the way towards the exit on the tunnel there. This right-hander really tricks you. It's a lot slower than you think, and then you go so slow that you lose heaps of speed and find out that you're actually needing to go faster than you already were. So, real tricky one, that one. This one as well, the entry, you've got to get absolutely right. Nice late entry, clip that apex on the inside. Use all the Astra on the exit there. You see Mo doing it very nicely. And down the back straight we go. So this is an outlap, of course, so he's not pushing too hard by the look of things. Shifting the car a little bit early. We'll jump on board now and see what we're in for here for what might be the final flying lap here for Mo Jalen. Plunges down the hill and onto the main straight. It's now or never for Mo. He'll want that pole position. About 150 metres braking into turn 1 here, down to second gear. Does he short shift to third? No, gets on the power in second, so he's got a nice long second gear there to get himself out of turn 1. Through this middle sector, very tricky. You got to get it absolutely right. You don't want to give it too much power, but if you don't give it enough, you're going to lose a lot of time. Look pretty tidy through there, not too unstable over the curbs, so he's looking okay for the minute. It tucks it in pretty nicely there. A little bit late on the power, but it's all right. He's going to carry a lot of speed through here. Plunge down the hill. Try to keep it to the inside. Brake on the bridge. Throw it into the corner here. Clip that apex onto the power. Doesn't go quite as wide as he potentially could there. You can use all of the track there all the way to the wall and you will not get a penalty. Down the back straight here. It's now or never for Mo. He's got to hit this last corner absolutely right. 55.5 at the final sector split. That's pretty ruthless looking at the moment. 150 metre board down to the last corner. Throws it in tight. Clips that inside apex. That is absolutely beautiful. Second gear on the power. Onto the main straight. Here we go. Down the hill. Keep the line as short as possible. Look at those cuts. He's keeping it right to the inside here. All the way to the line for Mo Jalen. What does he do? Over the crest. And towards the line. That's pole position for Mo Jalen at CP Motorsports. Snatches it by a 10th and a half from Rex. Does Rex have an answer for him? No, he's already finished his qualifying, so he will not have a response there. Carbon Boy is out on track. No, he's not. He's finished, so he's just come out of the pits. He's no good. Petey Pops is coming down to the line.
Those two there are the last ones that have started a lap, so...
We got someone coming into the hairpin there as well. Are they set to go?
Yeah, no, I'll do them as well. They can run that last lap as well. I think everyone else is slowed down, which is nice.
That's Filthy. No improvement for the two that just crossed the line. And Filthy is taking it easy down to the line as well. So he will not improve this time around. He's just on an outlap. So that brings an end to qualifying for our drivers. Mo Jalen takes pole position on the final flying lap there from Rex. Ghost, of course, starting at the back, as we already knew. And Mo will be absolutely stoked. There'll be champagne at CP today. No beers for these guys. Only the very best.
Absolutely. All right. Well, I think we can get these guys underway now.
Look at these cars, though. They look absolutely amazing. But yes, ready to rock and roll with this race here.
Let me just take a photo just in case. While I can actually take a photo of the grid, which is handy.
Don't forget, of course, those of you who are watching, get your driver of the day predictions in early. Winner, fastest lap, what do you guys think? Let us know what you're expecting to see. Check out this car, though. It looks absolutely amazing for Carbon Boy here. Look how the light reflects off it there. Gallagher sponsorship down the sides and all that sort of thing. So here's the grid.
Hopefully it works.
Mo Jalen on pole position, ahead of Rex 098, a new face to Sector 1, almost snatched pole position on his first time out here. Carbon Boy P3, Petey Pops P4, Filthy and Benia, row 3. The lights are on and off they go, the drivers are away, and it's a great start from Ghost at the very back. Looks like he's making up a couple of positions. Mo's got a very clean start there. And he's away into turn 1. He's not going to be troubled here. Don't forget, damage is set to max for these guys at the moment. So if you do get any damage, you will have to pit to repair it. Carbon Boy and Filthy through nice and clean. Take position from Rex. So a very poor start there from Rex in P4 there. Was on P2 at the start, but hasn't quite managed to hold it. Petey Pops P5 and Benia maintains P6 there as well. Followed very closely by Malevolent One and Ghost as well. Ghost has had a fantastic start there, all the way up to P8 already, and he'll be looking to make up more. Magnet with a penalty behind him as well, a half second for a track cut at some point there, as they head through towards the end of the second sector for the very first time. Looking great for these guys. Up the inside for Magnet, looking for a move on Ghost. Ghost gives him the room. Magnet can't quite use the exit there and has to yield. Jim Bob goes through on him there as well. Malevolent One up in P7, looking to hound Benia here, who's also a new face to Sector 1. So this is his first time out. We're not quite sure what he's made of yet. There's contact up in front. Petey Pops and Filthy come together, and that's going to allow Benia to go straight through. Petey Pops gets the better exit out of the pair of them, and it looks like it was Filthy who came out worse off there. So the two drivers tried to go side by side, but they couldn't quite hold it together there. There's a lot of damage there on the side of Filthy's car. I don't think he does have damage there, so he has damage to the front and the rear, so that'll be what he's pitting for. So Benny has managed to profit and get himself up to P4 there. Petey Pops, of course, was part of that incident. We'll let the stewards decide what went on there. We can't actually look at a replay with the new lobby system, but Benny will be thanking his lucky stars for that couple of extra positions there as they head through the middle sector. Rex in P3, he's got himself a bit of clear air, so it's now his race to kind of recover. Carbon Boy in P2 has lost Mo Jalen. Mo Jalen is having a fantastic race here. He's having the time of his life. Absolutely walking away with this one. Hopefully he can hold that all the way to the end. Important to note, however, now that we've settled down a little bit, the guys are sorting themselves out a bit. I say that. Benny is under a lot of pressure from Petey Pops, and it looks like Ghost just about went for a move there on Malevolent One, or maybe it was the other way around, but Malevolent One up to P6 there. Ghost's climbed to the very top. He's working pretty hard at it, but it's not going to be easy for him here, I don't think. So, look at the guys up the front. Mo Jalen started on the medium tyres. Don't forget, we got 2 tyres that these guys can use. Carbon Boy on the hards, so he will naturally be slower than Mo for this first stint. Rex on the medium, so he needs to make this work. He's got a bit of damage on his rear bumper, so he's been hit somewhere at some point, but he's continuing on. So that's going to affect his straight line speed here. He's not going to be as fast as he normally would be, but he's going to soldier on because he can get through without stopping here, I think. Benia in P4, he's now solidified it, and it looks like Petey Pops and Malevolent One are going at it again. Petey Pops very deep there into turn 1. Nearly takes out Benia, but Benia manages to go through because he went deep as well. Very lucky for these guys, I think. There's a bit of damage on the front of Petey Pops' car. It might be affecting his braking as well. Malevolent One on the medium tyres. He needs to get by and get himself through. Petey Pops also on the mediums, and Benia on the hards. So Benia has got himself in a pretty good position here. He's holding up a lot of medium runners, so that's always a good spot to be in, and he's actually behind a medium runner as well. Rex, who's got himself a half second there for cutting the track at some point. So this is going to fall very well to the Ascension Racing driver, rather. Petey Pops now P5, and he's also on the mediums there, so he's going to be looking to mount a challenge on Benia here. Let's see what he can do down the back straight. Looks like Malevolent One's going to have a look here into the final corner, or the hairpin. Pulls out of the slipstring at the last minute. Late on the brakes down the inside. Can't quite get it done. Petey Pops is wide, though. He's lost out. In the end there, he's gone. Oh, just about. Malevolent One doesn't quite take it from him. But they've both lost time there, and that's going to cost them both dear. They're both on the mediums as well. They really need to get a move on here, these guys. Jim Bob in P7, looking like a great race so far for our race director. Now ahead of Keza Johnson, who's also a new driver to Sector 1. I believe he did take part in the final round of last season, our last ever season of GT Sport, of course, if you remember. But we haven't really seen what he's made of here in the Gran Turismo situation, GT7 situation rather. But he looks to be holding his mettle a little bit, putting a bit of pressure on a Sector 1 faithful in Jim Bob. Magnet, of course, behind, and P9 looking to recover. He's also on the mediums, while Keza also on the mediums, and Jim Bob on the hard. So he's in a great spot as well with that left indicator on as well. So a little bit of indicator action there. Looks like Malevolent One's going for a move on Petey Pops again. These guys are back at it. There's a bit of contact through that corner there. They're going to be side by side down the straight, and I think Malevolent One will get it here. Because don't forget, Petey Pops has a little bit of front splitter damage, which will be affecting his top speed here. Push down towards that final corner. Malevolent One pulls out this time. Will he go for it? Will he get it this time? He goes late on the brakes. Petey Pops tries to switch back. There's a late move there from one of the guys further back. It was Magnet. He went deep on the brakes there. Lucky not to be at the foot of an incident, but he has got a little bit of damage. He hasn't done too badly. He's into the pits. This battle is really heating up now. Jim Bob all over the back of Petey Pops, goes up the inside. He's gone deep into turn 1. And that's off track. Jim Bob, no damage though, so that's a really good position to be in. So he's not lost out too much. He's still with these 3 drivers, so it could have been a lot worse there, I think. Ghost into the pits. End of lap 3, start of lap 4. Coming in for fuel and tyres. He's got engine damage there, so he's just had that repaired. Out he comes onto the mediums. Magnet as well, they're right on top of each other. Do not cut the pit lane lines, boys. There's a heavy penalty there waiting for you if you do. Ghost taking it easy on the exit there. Allows Magnet back through. And on they go. Filthy in a bit of no man's land after being the subject of an unfortunate incident earlier on in the race. They could be looking to make a recovery here on the medium tyres, of course.
Mate, Jalen with a 26.5 race lap too. That's flying.
Yeah, he's looking pretty good up there. It's hardly even worth putting the camera on him because he's just having a race of his own here. But all the action is with you, Jim Bob. There's 4 drivers. You can throw a blanket over all of them. There's more tow in this group than a Roman sandal. The 4 of them down the main straight here. Of course, the slipstream, as we haven't really mentioned yet, and there's two CJ Esports drivers on top of one another as well. You guys are going to have to work together here. Down the straight, Malevolent One is going to have a look at Kizza. He's not going to be close enough here. So the slipstream we haven't talked about too much. It's now effective to up to a second, but not as strong as it used to be.
Gee, another big dive there from the Malevolent One.
Big move from Malevolent One. But that's huge for Jim Bob and Kizza. They've gone straight through there. That's allowed them some breathing room. Petey Pops with damage front and rear. He's going to have to pit for that one. And it looks like Malevolent One may need to pit as well. He's got damage to his front splitter and to his right wheel. We'll see what the decisions these guys make are as they go on. Kizza Johnson in P5, a solid position to be in on the mediums. And of course, Jim Bob, you're on the hard still, so you're looking really good at the moment. P6 on the hard tyres. You couldn't really ask for much better of a start there. The only person who you'd argue is doing better is, well, of course, Carbon Boy, who's P2 on those hard tyres, and Beniot, who's also on the hard tyres. So the top 3 hard runners that we're seeing so far, looking like they're in great positions.
I think I'll put a bit of an asterisk next to my name straight off the bat tonight. I think I might have pushed Ghost a little bit wide coming into turn 1 there, and may have accidentally wrecked his engine. So while I'm on TV, apologies, mate. No intention.
Well, we'll hear the. If you're listening closely, you can hear the ominous click of a steward's pen as they'll. I'm sure they'll look into that incident, but. You know, the stewards will dish out the penalties as they come and as they are needed. But in the meantime, everyone get to racing and put the best foot forward, see what they can do. Because, of course, the stewards' penalty is going to come down no matter what you do. So there's no point.
Big spin from Kizza. He's gone. He's in the wall.
Oh, no. And we're not even going to get a replay of that either. So that's turn 4. He's gone into the wall and he's just damaged his rear bumper, backing out of it as well. Which of course he'll have to pit to repair, and that's dropped him down to P8. So that's elevated Jim Bob's P5 there. So this is a meteoric drive from Jim Bob up in P5. Fantastic stuff. We were on board with Benia, who's also on the hard tyres. He's looking pretty consistent at the moment. As far as fuel numbers are concerned, everyone's fairly similar. Rex is quite low compared to Carbon Boy and Benia. I think Carbon Boy's in a really good position. He could potentially go on to win this race with only a 7-second gap to Mo Jalen in front, who's obviously on the medium tyres.
Carbon Boy's been flying all day in the practice lobbies too, so I'm expecting a strong result from that young man.
He quite often flies under the radar, this lad, but he's a very, very quick operator and not one to be underestimated. So keep your eye on him. He's potentially going to be on for the race win come the end of this one. 7 seconds now separates him and Mo Jalen. That's a second a lap if you want to do your maths quickly. So Mo Jalen on the superior tyre, of course, pulling out a second a lap. Given that depending on the strategy, we might be about halfway through these guys' stint at the moment. So about halfway through lap 8, which puts them just about halfway through the first stint if you're going to pit at lap 15. And Carbon Boy's actually pulling a little bit of time on Mo as well. He's just pulled it back to 6.5 seconds there, although he's lost a bit of time on exit to that corner, if you have a look at the delta in the top left corner. But he's having a fairly solid race here, Carbon Boy. Let's see what Rex does here. Does he go for a move? This is going to be make or break for the race, potentially. Is this going to slow them up? Rex might go for it. He is on the medium tyres. He's got the better car underneath him. Carbon Boy hangs it around the outside, gets the superior traction on exit, and a fantastic exit. And launch down the straight there for Carbon Boy. So he's doing a very good job of holding that P2 together. As we look back now from Carbon Boy's car through that fantastic roll cage, you can see on the window banner up there, the on-point profiling decal, if a little bit reversed. Rex coming in nice and close there for the first corner there. But Carbon Boy managing to hold it together pretty well here on those hard tyres. Now this is the point as well around the 10th lap where the hards and the mediums start to equalise a little bit, because of course the hard tyres, they're a lot much better lasting here on Gran Turismo 7 compared to the mediums and the softs than they were on Gran Turismo Sport. So throw whatever you thought was the case out the window. The hard tyres are now an excellent choice of tyre for any competitive race in any circumstance where a pit stop is required, because they can often cut one out. The soft tyres wear out exceptionally quickly now on the new setups, and the hard tyres last seemingly forever. The guys on the mediums now looking like about a quarter wears coming in. They're getting a decent amount of graining, especially on their front right tyres, this being an anti-clockwise track. And they're going to start struggling a little bit on those medium tyres now, but the hards looking like they're still brand new, and they can probably go for another 10, maybe 15 laps here. So they're looking pretty good. And this is the point where we might see the gap to Mo come down a little bit. But he's pulled it out to 7.8 again.
Just Mo doing Mo things up there.
He's doing pretty well in the CP Motorsports car. The budget's coming in strong this time around. So all those rides in the helicopter for these drivers, they're paying dividends now, keeping it nice and tidy. That wear is looking pretty tidy, but his front right is definitely showing some age. So his times are coming down a little bit. He's 2/10 down there in the first sector compared to his best lap, which was set on lap 4, which you can see on the timing tree on the right-hand side. Still pulling out time, though, over 8 seconds now, so he's doing pretty well. And
this is Mo had it took last season off as well, so he's nice and refreshed as well. So Chase has done well getting him after his little break.
That's a great recruitment there. So he's going to go straight up to challenge Group A after this one, assuming he can hold on to this lead all the way through. I believe the top 3 go up. Is that correct?
Yes, I think so. I think they did a little bit of a rejig to the points, but I think it's still the top 2 or 3 from the B will go up.
Yeah, I can't remember exactly what the differences were in the past, but I know that I've seen the top 3 go up before. I can't remember if third had to get the fastest lap or something, but there was definitely something there. So assuming he can hold on to a P1 or a P2 here, Mo will be potentially mixing it in with the Group A boys next week. Or do we have a week off next week? I think we do have a race next week. And we're heading to Daytona, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, correct. The road course at Daytona. So that'll be a lot of fun. I believe we go night racing there as well, which would be cool.
Oh, that should be fantastic. I think everyone loves a good trip to America. You see the show they put on for the Formula One when they head to Miami this year. I'm sure we'll see much the same from the Sector 1 lads once we get over to the Daytona road course over in the US of A. But for now, we're still here in Switzerland.
Just quietly as well, Sean, Ghost has just put down a 26.4 to get the fastest lap of the race off Mo as well.
Oh, he has too. So he's also he's put his medium tyres on after that earlier stop. Currently P9, a 26.4 that he's just set on lap number 9, followed quickly by a 27.9, and he's got himself a half-second penalty as well. So not looking too flash for him at the moment, but he is on track to nab that fastest lap. Of course, Mo on the medium tyres will be going onto the hards, which means that he's probably not going to have a chance to respond to that fastest lap. The only person I would worry about snatching that fastest lap would be Benier and Carbon Boy as well. Now, looking closely as well, Rex is looking pretty low on the fuel at the moment. He's actually fallen off the back of Carbon Boy a fair bit. Carbon Boy's looking pretty solid for fuel, and our guy in P4, Benier, our second hard runner, is also looking pretty good on the fuel numbers as well. So I think the aim of the game here is to get to halfway on that fuel. And that leaves you with obviously enough to get home if you fill up a tank again. You can get that tank home in the second run around. So a one-stop, potentially the optimal strategy. And look at that, Benier as well, right on his fastest lap that he set on lap 3 there, 0.009 seconds down as he heads through the first sector split. So he's looking very consistent at the moment, which is showing in his gaps between the drivers in front and rear. So of course, Rex in front of him, 4.4 seconds up the road, and Jim Bob behind, also on the hard tyres, who's run a very consistent and tidy stint here, taking advantage where others faltered and made mistakes early on. Look at that, Benny is up on his best lap there by a whole tenth of a second. So the low fuel load coming in, of course, and the fact that the tyres aren't wearing too hard. These hard tyres, they go forever. They last you plenty of time. So looking fantastic here as he heads down the hill towards the start-finish line. Let's see if he gets himself an improved lap time here. Might pop himself into the 27s, which would be great to see. On the hard tyres as well, he'll be absolutely stoked with that one, I think. Here we go, across the line, into the 27s, a 0.8, wow. So he's busted that one out of nowhere by the look of things, but fantastic consistency from the Ascension driver. Rex in P3, he's lost a bit of time there to Benier as well, although there's a bit that's eking out here in the middle sector, back up to 4.5 seconds there. So it looks like the medium tyres are still working through the early stages of the lap. 0.166 down on his best lap. And he's got a bit of damage on the rear as well that he's withholding from earlier in the race. Carbon Boy, 2.6 seconds up the road, and he's closing the gap to Mo as well. It's now back down to 7.5. So Mo, the pressure's not off Mo here. He's going to have to come in for a new set of boots very shortly. In fact, he's got himself a half-second penalty there for cutting the track at some point, so that's going to hurt him very much so, and that might seriously affect the way the race ends. Of course, what we can expect to see now, with a 7-second gap like this, we're going to see potentially both of these drivers in first and second pop into the pits and put on the opposite set of tyres. So obviously Mo on the faster tyre. He's coming in now actually to go onto the hards. So this will be his one and only stop. Carbon Boy will go around again. The gap is now 6 seconds. And what we might see, Carbon Boy obviously going onto the faster medium tyres at his pit stop. Assuming Mo doesn't get traffic, they'll probably still maintain about a 6-second gap between the pair of them, because Mo's going to get a nice undercut here on Carbon Boy behind. He'll fuel up here as well for the remainder of the race. And then what will probably happen is Carbon Boy will be faster for up to 10 laps on the new medium tyres, and then they'll wear out to the point where they equalise with the hards, and we might have a fantastic battle on our hands towards the very end. So, you know, it's shaping up to be a very, very exciting race here. If Mo can keep it together and avoid any more penalties, I think we could be set for a fantastic 1-2 battle towards the end. Jim Bob as well, up on his best lap here, so everyone's pulling out the stops towards the end of this first stint here.
Good evening, Lucas.
Evening, gents.
How are we?
I'm well, how are you?
I'm a little bit busy, but I'm alright.
Currently P4, you're doing amazingly, mate. So Lucas is joining us, of course, for Championship B tonight. So you're hosting our upcoming race, aren't you, Lucas?
That is correct.
So how we looking at it?
Racing and everything's running pretty smooth so far. I've got 12-car grid tonight for Championship B. A couple of guys aren't going to make it, but so far so good with the test starts and whatnot. So hopefully we can get everybody on the track and qualified and racing. Get a couple of races for everybody to watch tonight. Good
stuff. Yeah, it's pretty exciting stuff. And of course, we do have the Championship A running alongside, so they'll be starting fairly shortly, I imagine. But it will not be on the broadcast. We'll hope to get updates from that race as it goes along to bring to you on the live action here. But we do have to focus on what's on our screens at the moment. So, of course, 11-1, P10 here. So he's just gone in for his stop to go on to the mediums. Now, Magnet here in P11, he's made what looks like his last stop. Or maybe he'll have one more to go. It is only the end of lap 13 there. Now, it looks like Mo's come back into the pits here. Now, what's going on here? He put the wrong tyres on. He did. He put the medium tyres on the previous lap, and he's now going to put the hards on. So he's done a double stop here.
Oh dear.
And he's had to come out.
Over the mediums on.
Wow. Now that's a catch and a half there, but so that's going to really affect his race now. I think that might throw him outside the top 5 potentially. Definitely out of the podium for the time being. Going to have a big fight back on his hands. What I'm interested in is why, obviously he fueled up to go to the end, but he was on the medium tyres. He could have then run the mediums until 3 laps to go and then put the hards on, which would have of course granted him faster laps in the meantime, and he still would have done that stop later on. That's what's quite interesting to me there, not to get the use out of those mediums that he accidentally put on. But either way, he's come in now for his hards, he's put them on, and he's good to the end here. The end of lap 14 he put them on, and he'll go all the way to the end. Ghost now in P5, looking pretty good, but he'll have to do another stop. He's got a bit of damage on his front end as well, so he's been in an incident somewhere there. Jim Bob into the pits, off the hards. Here we go. So the first hard to medium runner is in the pit box at the moment, fueling up. Benia, currently out on track, still on the hards. He's going one more, potentially pitting at the end of lap 16. Rex on the mediums. He's gone a very long way on these tyres up in P2, but it's serving him pretty well. He's still only 4 seconds back from Carbon Boy. And Carbon Boy, of course, on the hards here. We'll probably see him come in this lap. It looks like about 14 laps is as far as you want to go on the old mediums here.
How confident are you on that, Jimmy?
Not very at all. I think Jim Bob's going to have to stop again before the end of the race.
So Jim Bob now P6. Full tank of fuel and mediums. And you're not expecting to go all the way here?
I'm pretty sure I'll have to do a little bit of a splash and dash. Fuel economy is not my strong suit. So
it is
we'll give it a crack. We'll see how we go.
All right, well, you're away running now, 100%, 100 litres on board. Mo in P5, so he's now in track position here. Rex in the pits, going from the mediums to the hards. Carbon Boy and Benia goes around again, so he's going for the overcut strategy here. So Carbon Boy in the pits, filling up at the moment. Let's see where he comes out. Ghost coming down, about to come past the pit lane entry line. There we go. Pops himself ahead on the timing sheet. Carbon Boy will come out of the pits now. Do we see Ghost coming down to turn 1? There he is over the crest in the background there. But Carbon Boy holds P2. So that is net P1, I think, for Carbon Boy. So he is now unofficially P1. So he's on track to win this race. Benia and
second.
Is Sean second? No, Sean's got to pit again. He's on medium tyres that have been on since lap 3. So he's going to have to go in again at some point. But I think he can still recover a decent result here because the track is very spread out at the moment.
It's good bragging rights of Carbon Boy. Good mates with Sean Ghost there.
Very true. They've been friends for a while, I think, as well. Benia comes in here. So in with 2 litres of fuel on board, off the hard tyres, and he'll be going on to the mediums. He did have a bit of traffic there as well, in the form of Magnet and Petey Pops, currently backmark in the field, but they've done their final stops, so they are clear to race at the moment. Petey Pops, the second of the CP Motorsport cars on track at the moment, again with a little bit of a deep run into turn 1, trying to defend from Magnet there. But Benia in pit now, fueling up. Carbon Boy on the main straight, goes past the pit entry line, pops up ahead on the screen, on your left of your screen right now. Mo Jalen down the straight as well, up into P2. Benia still fueling, away he goes out of the pit box. Where does he come out? He's P3 with Rex behind him. And it looks like he's clear of him as well. So he's jumped one driver so far, and Mo is still P2. So that's track position there for Mo as well. So he could potentially still snag a solid podium here in a P2 as well. But he's got Benny to hold off, who is, of course, now on the faster tyre. He's going to be lightning quick for the first few laps here. And, of course, Carbon Boy, I think, is going to run away with this one. He's now got 8 seconds to the good over Mo Jalen behind him and a better tyre. So it's hard to see any result other than P1 here for Carbon Boy unless he's in a massive crash, which, of course, we have seen from a couple of guys. Big crash, engine damage. You will have to pit for an engine repair. And that could seriously affect some guys. So Carbon Boy's got to keep it on track here. Mo now 2.8 clear of Benia, so he's pulling out a little bit. Looks like Benia taking a little bit of time to get those tyres. I think it partly depends on your gearbox as well, because some guys are banging off the limiter towards the end of the main straight there, and that obviously uses a bit more fuel. But it looks like yours was it looks like yours was a bit short there, so you're actually saving a little bit without even trying there. Oh, that's into the wall though. Bit of damage to the rear and the left corner. And a bit of a slide and a track limit to boot. But he's kept it on the track. Oh, not quite.
The front end as well.
Into the wall we go. Unraveling. 20-second gap to Filthy behind. Now the question is, do you pit or do you continue on? I think you might have to box with damage like that. But we'll leave that decision to you. Rex has got damage on his rear bumper as well, so he's hit the wall at some point since his pit stop. Benny is okay at the moment. Mo also no damage, and Carbon Boy no damage on his mediums. And Benny are not really closing the gap to Mo Jalen at the moment. He's looking pretty quick on those hard tyres here, the CP Motorsports driver.
Alright, I think I'll come in.
Rex continues on, so he's not too worried about his damage. He's going to continue on like nothing happened. Jim Bob out of the final corner. Into the pit lane lines, and in he goes. This might give you a chance to fuel up a little bit as well, give you an extra chance.
Exactly.
So a 13.8 second gap to Filthy. So this race is going to be all on once Jim Bob comes out. Should be a much shorter stop than what we've seen so far. Bit of daylight between Filthy, Malevolent 1 and Ghost. Ghost in P7, so he'll be looking to recover a bit more here. Get himself up to a P5 or higher. Jim Bob is on the move. He comes out ahead of Ghost, but Ghost overtakes him into turn 1. So, P8 on the road for Jim Bob. What can he recover from here? Keza down in P9 at the moment. On the hard tyres, he is good to the end. Petey Pops in P10 and Magnet P11. There's a close battle on here for these guys. Mediums for Magnet, hards for Petey, and hards for Keza as well. So, the fastest car is behind the other two. So this could unravel to be quite an interesting race here between these three. You look back there, Petey Pop's coming flying in, is a bit sideways on exit there. On the entry of the tunnel, and Magnet's going to have a look around the outside for P10 here. Does he get the exit right? They're still side by side through this over the hill sector. Down the hill, Magnet's got the inside line for the next 2 corners. Petey Pop slides it out wide, and he's not quite going to get it back. Magnet's gone deep, though. Is Petey Pop's going to have an answer? Magnet manages to hold it. And he's not quite got the slipstream here of Keza. So I think it's not all over here for these two. Will Petey Pops have another look? He's looked aggressive all day. He pulls out of the slipstream. Not quite late enough on the brakes, so Magnet chops the nose off, keeps it ahead. This battle rages on. Petey Pop scraping the wall on exit there, kicking up a whole lot of dirt. Right on the back of Magnet there. It looks like Magnet's struggling a little bit for top speed there. Very wide, and Keza's gone wide as well onto the grass of his own accord, and he's lost the pair of them. So Magnet slots in behind Petey. These guys are absolutely knocking 7 bells out of each other. It is tit for tat every corner. Over the top of the hill. Right-hander, left-hander, through the tunnel, onto the wall there, almost for Magnet. That could have been dangerous. His right front tyre is looking pretty worn out at the moment, so he's lacking a bit of grip here. But he's still got an advantage over PD Pops, surely. What I do find quite interesting is Magnet was definitely one of our the drivers in previous season. It's unclear as to whether it's the new physics of Gran Turismo 7 which have thrown him a bit left of field in terms of pace and put him down the back of Challenge B here, or if perhaps his setup is not quite as effective as the drivers around him. Of course, CP with the benefit of having the 6 times champion as a consultant for tuning there. Of course, that's Brocky, or the Cyborg, who weren't on the street as he is contributing technical tips to the CP Motorsports team. They've got a fantastic setup on board here for the Silvia S15, which is very clear to see there down the straight. PD Pop's absolutely flying away from Magnet, although he's very deep into turn 1 there as well. The battle rages on. Ghost getting close to the Malevolent One here, so this battle is not over either, and Jim Bob hanging in the back there, ready to pick up any scraps. Lap 22 now we're on here. Ghost breathing down the neck of Malevolent One. He's going to go for a move at any minute here, maybe down into the hairpin. Let's see. On board now in the Ragged Edge car. But not too worried about going for a move there by the looks. He pulled out of the slipstream nice and early to get himself some clean air over the car there, from what we can tell. Nice effective braking, but he's 5/10 behind here down the main straight. Will he get a run all the way down to turn 1? 3/10 now, coming down quickly. Malevolent One not looking to defend anyway at this point. Right up to the limiter there for Ghost. Pulls out early again, and on time on the brakes there, so not pushing too hard at the moment. Potentially looking after his tyres, waiting for a later opportunity to pounce. So P7 for Ghost. It looks like he's pitted again since his first stop. He's got some fresh looking mediums on the car there, and now looking to make up places. Malevolent One looking like a bit slower through the middle sector there.
I think Malevolent One's on the hard tyre too, isn't he?
Let's have a look here. No, he's on the mediums, but they're considerably more worn than Ghost's. So Ghosts are nice and fresh. Jim Bob's a little bit worse off here, so right in between the pair of them as far as tyre quality is concerned. So let's see if the Malevolent One and Jim Bob work together here. Of course, 2 CJ Esports cars. Do they work together to depose of Ghost here? Looks like they've got their hands full of him. Ghost to the inside into the hairpin, squeezes Malevolent One there, right to the outside. Ghost goes through, nice apex there, and nice and early on the power too. First gear exit even, and away he goes down the straight. A word in the chat from Brocky or Cyborg, our 6-time champion. Yeah, they have proper transmission tune too. Is that a hint that there's some sort of glitch going on in the CP Motorsport garage?
Oh,
is it Brocky?
no.
Oh, Malevolent One's gone deep there. Was that contact with Jim Bob? It looks like it was, because there's a redress there from Jim Bob. Just a bit late on the brakes there, was it?
Oh, real late. Not a little bit about it.
Oh man, the 2 teammates coming together. What's the first rule of motorsport, lads?
Well, I'm the boss, so I can do whatever I want.
Team owner says and team owner does. Very good. As I say, not as I do. High effective training method. Gaps in the top 5. So Filthy now leads Ghost by a second. Malevolent One, of course, no longer a threat to Ghost after he got through there, and there's Slipstream there for him as well. Hards on board for Filthy and mediums for Ghost, so it's looking like a bit of a formality here. This P5 for Ghost. Will Filthy defend? Let's have a look. Nothing doing there for Ghost, so he's not taking it on this early. Rex, 2 seconds south of Benia. Benia not able to make inroads to Mo.
Good boy.
What's happened there? He's let you through, has he?
Yeah, did a little Fabian there.
Bit of a teammate switch there. Love to see it. So on board with Ghost now, of course, down the main straight. Was very close to Filthy there, but hasn't quite got the launch out of the final corner there by the looks. Filthy under plenty of pressure here. It looks like a bit of a formality again. Rex only a second and a half behind Benia. Now, even with that damage on the rear bumper, the tyre wear coming into Benia's car here might be dropping him into the clutches of Rex 098. Mo Jalen, 10 seconds deep on Carbon Boy. Can't quite make inroads here. So it looks like first and second are more or less said and done. Carbon Boy with a dominant lead at the moment after that error from Mo, of course, early on. A double pit stop from the CP Motorsports car causing him to drop back a lot further than intended.
Wouldn't have done that if he was a black light, would he, Lucas?
There's a couple of teams joke that goes around as far as fuel and tyres are concerned. I think it's Deeds that are always having trouble with their fuel numbers, aren't they?
Absolutely.
So is the CP garage always mixing up their tyre sets now? Is that what's going to happen? The budget doesn't account for tyre labelling in the garage.
Written and authorised by Adam.
Well, the mistake cost them dearly, but it's not cost them more than a podium, so he wasn't unfortunately able to fight for the win here unless we see an error from Carbon Boy, but a great run from Mo, and I think deserving of driver of the day so far for this driver. Benia, of course, now under pressure from Rex. Have a look back.
He's done all right to hang on to Ghost too.
Yep, he's still there defending. We're currently looking at the battle for third here between Benia and Rex. Benia, of course, on the medium tyres, Rex on the hards, but they're starting to equalise. Coming to the end of lap 26 with 4 laps to go. What can they do? Looks like Rex is a little bit better off for fuel here than Benia in front. Mo is indeed driving for CP this season, so he's got the big budget behind him at the moment. And Karen in the chat as well, cars look good. They do indeed. I think it was a great choice from the Sector 1 admin, so big up to those guys. A second now, the gap between Benia and Rex there, and there's a move on for P5 here. Ghost has gone up the inside of Filthy, but they're going back and forth here. I saw the position has changed on the timing sheet there a couple of times, but it's all on between the pair of them.
Hopefully they take each other out. That'll be handy.
Well, let's have a look here. Filthy's probably going to have a go back. He needs to fight for track position here straight off the bat. He's got the worst of tyres out of the pair of them. Up the inside into turn 1, late on the brakes. Ghost's going to try hold it around the outside. He's done a fantastic job there on the better tyres. Wow, look at that. Ghost absolutely flew around the outside there. Fantastic job from the Ragged Edge driver. I almost don't recognise the Ragged Edge cars now because they've got a completely different livery on board. Of course, they've done away with the Auto One sponsorship in favour of On Point, who may be bringing the fish and chips, I hear, to the Ragged Edge garage.
Yeah. So On Point Profiling is Big Guns, who of course is the team owner at Ragged Edge, which is his own little business. So he does driveways and asphalt driveways and all sorts of other bits and pieces. He's been busy. He was busy last week building a shed at his million-acre property he's just bought up in Queensland. So
big budget.
Yeah,
you're going to give CP a run for their money.
But yeah, if you need some driveways done, you need some asphalt work done, and you're in the Queensland area, get around him. He does a good job too. So,
all right,
yeah.
Queensland residents, bear it in mind. On Point Profiling, support the companies that support Sector 1, of course.
Tell them Adam, Jim Bob, and the Good Doc sent you. He might even look after you a little bit as well.
You'll love to see it. So Ghost now pulling away from Filthy, so it's all over between the two of them. That race is all said and done by the look of things. Benia still holding a narrow 1 second lead over Rex behind. Can he hold it out to the end? A podium would be great, and it would launch him, of course, as we were discussing before, potentially straight up to Group A here on his first time out. Mo Jalen, P2 for CP Motorsports, is bringing the gap down a little bit to Carbon Boy, but not enough to make real inroads. 2 laps to go here for these guys. Carbon Boy running into some back markers here.
Sean down there in P5's got the fastest lap too, so I can't remember if that's 1 or 2 points. So that's 2 points.
Is pole position worth a point as well?
Yes.
It is. So Mo got that, didn't he?
Mo got that, so there's an extra point for Mo.
He's in a great spot here as Mo, so he's, even with that massive mistake, he's had a fantastic race. To come away with second here is absolutely insane, I think. The gap between third and fourth, though, it's forever changing here. What can Rex do? He's going to pile the pressure on here. 1.5 laps to go for these guys.
Jeez, are they that far ahead?
They're about to come onto the back straight, these guys. And I think...
So, Carbon Boy is 1 minute and 3 seconds in front of me, so that's first to 7th.
He's had a good race, says Carbon Boy. So 8 tenths between these guys now. And then there's 30 seconds back to Ghost there in P5. So I don't think he'll be improving from there unless there's a big crash.
Still a great result for Ghost starting off the back.
It is, yeah, P5. I think someone was saying to him a little bit earlier, P5 is the expectation here, but you know, it took a lot of work to get there, and look at the gap still. He's down 30 seconds on Rex and P4. These guys up the front have they've had a very good, quick, clean race, and really pushed the limit all the way along. It looks like Rex is gonna struggle to catch Benia here. He's being towed out to a second there. Benia with significant straight line speed advantage down that main straight. Out of turn 1 they come. Into the tight twisty section. Approaching that corner a lot faster there is Rex. Look at the lines where he gets very close under braking there into the tunnel. Looking to run very narrow lines here. They're still together. Carbon Boy.
P6 for Filthy too, just quietly.
Yeah, he's done very well.
Effort.
Held out Ghost for a while as well. He's maintained a 1.7 second gap there to him as well. Rex is all over Benia here. He might be able to challenge him down to this final corner. This is going to be very close. We've had a crash at the final corner as well. Someone's off, but it's not one of the top 4. Here we go. Benia under pressure from Rex. Oh, a yellow flag is out. There's no overtaking allowed, so he's not even going to be allowed the opportunity to get by. Benia with a run to the line here. Looks like he's going to get away with it. Carbon Boy takes the spoils here in round 1. Mo Jalen with a solid P2. Benia, P3. Crosses the line here. Take his first podium and his first outing here at Sector 1. Rex in P4 with a fantastic challenge mounted towards the end there. And Ghost down P5. Rounds out the top 5 here. Coming through the final corner. Or what we would call the final corner, if there wasn't 2 or 3 more to go. With a 2 second gap to Filthy as well. So a great drive from Ghost from the back of the grid there. And Filthy P6 there, a great result for him too. Much faster down that main straight there. I think Ghost was a little bit fuel compromised, so lucky there. Jim Bob P7, a solid result again. You qualified P9 or P10?
Yeah, I think it was 9 or 10, something like that.
Very good. So can't argue with positions gained. PD Pops with a very up and down race, a very aggressive driver, pushing a lot of the guys really hard. Finishes P8, Malevolent 1 P9, Magnet P10, and Keza P11 after a crash at the end there. Those 3 finish a lap down. Well, that was action-packed from start to finish. What do you take from that, Jimbo?
The car is great to race. It's an amazing car to race. Even It's pretty easy to tune as well. Once you get in the ballpark, like I'm no expert tuner, trust me. But if you, as long as you can get a tune that's sort of in the ballpark and you can play around with it a little bit, I think you'll be there or thereabouts.
Yeah,
But
it
it's a
looks
great
like
car.
tunes are fairly similar.
It's a great car to race in. It's very nice to drive. Even before the update where Gran Turismo wrecked the game again, it was very nice to drive. So, no, well done to everyone involved. It was good.
So Carbon Boy, of course, takes the spoils with a very, very solid drive from Mo, who finishes P2 there after pitting a second time out of sequence, which was obviously a mistake, as we saw, or looked like a mistake anyway. It might have been deliberate. You never know. Got himself a P2 there, and Benny rounds out the podium there on his first time out in Sector 1 as well. Fastest lap went to Ghost, if I'm not mistaken. So 5th and fastest lap. Pretty solid result there from the man with the mouth.
From the back too, just quietly as well.
Yep. Started dead last. Found his way up to P5 there. Well, very well done. Carbon Boy Driver of the Day nominations in the chat already. One from Rob Rickard. That's Ricky Bobby, I think. And Hannah Jane says, congrats, Luke. So that's Carbon Boy as well, or Garden Boy, as he is now affectionately known in the Sector 1 community. Brocky with Mo for Driver of the Day. First event back after a huge break on controller and with having to pit twice. Yeah, I think it was a great result there for Mo. You can't really argue with that, can you?
Nah, no way. Great drive from the big man.
Of course. So very well done to you, Jim Bob. We will cross over now to the Championship B lobby. The guys are just about underway. Lucas, you've been putting our guys through their paces.
Yep. Yeah, getting these guys under control. So I was about to send them out for a quick recce run once you're in the lobby.
Yep,
so
I'm hearing
seeing people. Alright, so we'll get these guys set off.
Once to watch this race, I think we've got Karen, who dropped down from Group A, is that correct?
Corey Hack's also dropped down as well, so he's starting from the back of the grid tonight.
Oh, he is? Okay, so we got another one starting from the back. Two drivers on the same team there, Mr. Bumcrack and Old Wakey. What team is that? I don't recognise the livery.
That's Locked Up Motorsports. So that's Lockwood's new team.
New team, yes. I'd be very interested to see how they do. Mr. Bumcrack, of course, was a Ragged Edge driver last season, so that's interesting to see him change over.
Well, he's actually been promoted this season. That's why he's had to jump teams.
Right. Okay.
Obviously, Ragged Edge were filled up with Troy and Mr. GDR, championship winner. Yep. So Bumcrack also qualified for the top category. So now he had to find a new place to go for a bit of a run.
GDR's 3-time champion now, isn't he?
He is.
Wow. So he's
a bit of work to do yet.
Coming for the title numbers of Brocky there, but we'll see what happens. Another name, Evil Evo. Some very big names in here tonight. A couple of guys who have had some fantastic drives in the past. Old Wakey as well, who's been a Group A faithful for the longest time in Group B. So it just shows the level of quality that we're now seeing in the Sector 1 series from a lot of these guys. Cruising as well. He's also been up there. All right, so our classic qualifying technique system underway.
Go around, do a lap, exit the race. That'll clear the timing board for practice. Then these guys will re-enter, and as soon as the last car exits the pits, we start our 10-minute qualifying session, and then we go racing. But so far, so good tonight for the lobby. It's been pretty smooth. Cars, there's a little bit of jaggedy between some of the cars here, but again, you just can't help it.
Yeah,
the brief gets put in the fence.
Oh man, yeah.
All right, I'm going to head downstairs, boys. Good luck.
Very well done, mate. We'll see you later.
Thank you.
So interestingly tonight too, Corey Hack has the pace. He's been the pace setter so far in all the practicing, and starting from the back of the grid tonight. Which will,
yeah, I think he was a lot of the guys in Group A last week. Obviously, we had our technical difficulties and couldn't quite get it underway. Corey Hack was one of the guys that was considered a serious threat by a lot of the top guys, including GDR, Andrew and Noodles, who are both new to the series, and big time veterans of Gran Turismo here.
Also, just a little change up here too. It's changing conditions today at Deep Forest Raceway. The fog has started to set in for the later race. So we've got sprinkling of sunshine, but then when the clouds come over, it gets awfully foggy. So a bit of dense air for these little turbo monsters to run tonight.
Yeah, no, the fog is good, man. It looks really nice as well.
All right, so they're just finishing their one lap. So these guys will get to the end of Sector 1 and exit the track, as they all decide to slam into the fence in Turn 1, as they do. These guys like to...
how many drivers do we have? 12 or 13?
I think it's 12 or 13. I didn't quite double check it at the end there. I'm just waiting on the last guy. There's always one that likes to go a little bit longer than everyone else. Typical Green Beacon racing car there.
Oh, there we go. Yep. You got to call out the red mist car. Always a red mist car.
These guys will all re-enter, and then they will get green lighted for qualifying.
2 red mist cars in this race and 2 locked up cars. I don't see any other team pairings on track.
There's 2 RCLL cars, so that's the Gamesman entries from Cruisin and Debrev.
Right.
Alright, so they're all on the track now. I'm just going to double check to make sure everyone's out of the pits. If they are, we can go qualifying.
Teamwork's always an interesting one to see. We saw some good and bad in the first race tonight between the 2 CJ Esports cars. We saw a bit of an incident where one hit the other off, and then a moment where the other let them through for obvious reasons, which was great, good and bad to see. We'll see if we see any more of that in this race number 2 this evening.
So they're all out of the pits. Qualifying has now begun. Just going to grab a quick look at the timer on the clocks. My timer's not running, which is awesome.
Right, yeah. Want to start the 10-minute timer on your phone or your watch, or?
Yep, just going to do my stopwatch on my phone real quick, guys, because the timer on my screen's not actually ticking, which is wonderful. So we're going now. So 10 minutes from now, we'll cease qualifying.
And even more good news, I can see Karen jittering about on track a little bit. So brilliant stuff. So outlap there for Karen. He finishes there for Deeds, team owner as well. Mr. Bumcrack for Locked Up, the new team in the paddock. Old Wakey, his teammate, behind him, seeing if he can pull a little bit of slipstream from him. These liveries look pretty nice, man.
They're great looking cars, those Locked Up cars, aren't they?
Black, purple and red it looks like they've gone for. It's a really good colour combination.
I think their championship cars have orange on them. Or red, orange, black, I think.
So they're running 2 different. Yep.
Yeah.
I like that.
Good to see PVS back on the grid too. They were a sponsor of, I think, a Ragged Edge or something many seasons ago now. So they're back on a major sponsorship deal with Locked Up. So great to see them back on the grid.
Awesome stuff. Evil Evo in the Lightning Motorsport car, I think that is, isn't it?
It is.
So we've seen some great pace from him in the past as well, haven't we?
And also rating teams champions too.
Oh, of course, yeah. Took it out in the final round last season.
Yeah, so it's a pretty new lineup for Lightning Motorsport because their team was so strong last season. All 4 of their cars qualified for the top category, which meant that within our rules at Sector 1, you have to have 2 cars in the top, 2 cars in the second category. So a lot of driver changes throughout the off season, which is great. So it keeps everybody fresh and gets everybody out with different people. It's awesome to see.
Yeah, it's a pretty solid system at the moment. DJ Brain, another CJ Esports car here. So we saw 2 in the last race, 1 here as well. Cruisin comes in, off his hards, goes on to the mediums. Killer on loose for Red Mist Racing there in P6. Black Project in the only black car on the track tonight. So were you supposed to race tonight, good job?
I was supposed to race in the previous race with Filthy, so he had a good run, I think, to P6, P7 or something.
Yeah, he had a good run. I think he was P6 in the end.
I was supposed to be in there, but unfortunately we ran out of race directors tonight, so I sort of had to use my drop round for this evening. So hopefully I have some good results for the rest of the season.
Let's hope it's the last time that has to happen. So looking on track still. So Corey Hack, of course, starting at the back of the grid. So he's driving the red Mist car. So of course Red Mist runs 4 different colours on their liveries, based on the cans that Green Beacon provide, I think, if that's right.
Yes.
So that red one actually is the livery for the Windjammer, which is what I used to operate when I was driving for Red Mist. So a little bit affectionate towards that car. Now driven by Corey Hack. He is having a little bit of a latency issue, moving around on track quite a lot, but it's obviously not too big of an issue right now.
I just put a little thing in the chat that telling to make sure that he runs last, just in case.
Yeah, the time he's set at the moment is 7 seconds off the next car, so he should be alright as long as Cruz and Dadson, Ricky Bobby and Dobrev set quick times.
Yeah. Well, without the ability to reset the lobby and manually set the grid, we've got to make sure these guys do the right thing. Otherwise, it's a long transition to reset the lobby. Yeah. It's going to upset some people. So
a bit of jittering there for Dadson as well.
Right, yeah, a lot of guys are starting to jitter a little bit as the fog sets in. Looks fantastic. It's GT7 stretching its legs a little bit in the graphics department.
Fog is good. Yeah, the game is overall it's great. The only catch is the lobbies, which is obviously what we need. So it's a real shame, but you know what can you do? You just got to hope that it gets better.
Dadson now improves to 8th position with a 28.3 there. It's a great job from Dadson. Nice. Great to see Dadson really step up to the main series this year, because he's been a long-time runner in the Tier 2 Challenge Series, which is great to see that he's set a good time backing himself now to lead the team.
Yeah, so he's got
just about throws at the fence.
The championship.
Don't scratch that car, Dadson. That's very expensive gold flake.
2 Gamesmen cars also haven't set a time yet. Ready to rock and roll for these 2, Cruz and Dobrev. They'll be setting times this time around, I think. So Karen currently with the fastest.
Too, weren't they?
Yeah, they came out on the hards. So Karen on the fastest lap at the moment, provisional pole, or nearly gets surmounted by Evil Evo there. 0.012 the gap.
Close as that.
Fantastic lap by Evil Evo, showing his pace. Very quick driver, I think, and thoroughly deserving of being in the championship. I think, was he driving last season in the challenge?
I think so, and it looks like he's stuck around at Lightning Motorsport as well, which is awesome to see.
Yeah, so he would have been
carryover driver.
I presume they would have retained 2 and got 2 new drivers.
Yes.
Yeah, so he's obviously showed his worth to Stickers, who's the team owner over there, and he's decided to retain him. So big call when you got 4 drivers to pick from, or 3 drivers, I suppose, if you don't include yourself as Stickers. Evil Evo was the number 1, so he stays on board, and he's shown his worth here, P2 so far.
Cruz has just stretched his legs to P5 too, guys, so he's just come up from the back of the grid.
Yep, so that's his first fly, so that'll be his banker. I think he's probably got quite a lot of pace left in him there.
Those tyres are really fresh on that car at the moment. He's got it down to 2/3 of a tank of fuel as well, which is really good, so he's definitely exercising that fuel burn.
Yeah, the fuel burn comes in a bit as well.
Looks like it's run some interesting camber on the front end too. I don't know whether that's some sort of trick that they're trying to play, or looks very positive though. The top of the wheel looks like it's sticking out.
Oh yeah, I see what you mean there. Yeah, it might even be 0, but you're
could
right.
Be a graphical glitch too, I guess.
I think it's pretty accurate most of the time, so I would put a bit of stock in what you're seeing, but you never know. The guys are playing around with the setups plenty, so definitely worth taking into consideration. And of course, we're pretty familiar with how these guys are as far as pace is usually concerned, so we know which guys are Group A, Group B material most of the time. The setups are changing things up a bit, so a couple of guys are outperforming guys they wouldn't normally, and vice versa, so it's really throwing a spanner in the works for some of these guys, I think.
There we go, sorry. Newborn baby in the house, making sure everybody knows it's okay to cry.
There's a couple of newborns at Sector 1, or young children, isn't there? So I think we've got Womble's got one as well.
Yep, myself and Benny at Blacklight. So the Blacklight Young Driver program is pretty strong at the moment.
Well, it'll be a big challenge for the generational next generation of Red Mist and Blacklight. Should be very interesting to watch.
Just quietly, Obsession Motorsport looking pretty strong tonight as Ricky Bobby goes. So his bum crack just knocks him off.
We just had an eye on that as well by happy coincidence. We were on board with Bumcrack there as he went pole by nearly a tenth over Ricky Bobby. So now 26.1 is the benchmark, and I think we saw...
Oh, Killer's going to be good here too. He's got a toe down the front straight from Evo X. Oh, might have been an out. Oh no, he goes to 8th. With a 28 right flat. Yeah.
He's second behind Cruz in there, so he's got a bit of time to make up, but he is on quite worn out tyres, so that may not have been his one. So Bumcrack takes provisional pole so far. Ricky Bobby and Karen breathing down his neck. 26.1. I think we saw a 26.1 on the lower fuel from Mo, who took pole in the Challenge B race.
That's the 2-minute warning.
Yep. So I think we might see someone crack into the 25s here, maybe just. So that'll bear watching. The question is, which driver is going to get it?
Well, I've got no telemetry. Everything is locked up for me, so I can't actually see the split times, which is really frustrating.
Yeah, I'm the same. So it looks like that's a thing that happens when you exit from a race and go to practice. So the split times don't work. You do see the split times pop up, but you don't see them as they're coming through, and then they freeze.
DJ Brain on the move down the back straight at the moment as he blows past Corey Hack, who's doing a great job to stay in P12.
Karen's looking really good here. He's on the main straight, coming down to set a flying lap. A headwind down that straight as well, big tailwind down the back straight. Here we go. Stays P3, but he does go faster.
Right, 1 minute to go, so we're going to have to keep an eye on who's where. Ricky Bobby is now...
Evo's just gone to pole.
Evo goes to top. There it is there, 26 flat. I saw Karen drop down.
Wakey to P2.
Oh, Wakey!
Brilliant. Locked up, showing their worth. Old Wakey showing why he's a Group A regular and why he should be up there. Goes provisional pole. DJ Brown in the way, and it's ruined his flying lap. Oh no, that's going to get looked up by the stewards, but that's going to put an end to their qualifying.
Yeah, he was parked on the Apex DJ there. He just went to P6 as well, so luckily neither car was damaged, but they're going to be out of time because we're about to run out of time on the clock. So, geez, I don't think anyone's going to make it round. Who's coming up the front straight now?
It's just, I think it's honestly just whoever's on track right now.
That's it.
So this is the Brev finishing his last flyer. P10, does he improve? No improvement. We've got someone else about to cross the line. There we go. Mr. Bumcrack, does he improve? No improvement. Karen, can he improve? From 5th. 2 tenths to make up to Evo. He goes pole. There we go. Hey. Provisional pole first into the 25s there for Karen. Evo's going to cross the line now. Does he have an answer for it? No, nothing to respond with there.
Oh, wow. Karen at the death knock grabs it.
Killer on the loose. Can he go faster? He's got a toe from his teammate Corey.
Coming down the straight as well. You guys are all finishing strong here.
Here we go, old Wakey. No, he can't improve. He would have been slowed down on that lap too. DJ Brain.
He's moving.
Not quite an improvement. Cruising goes faster, but doesn't improve position.
They're all pulling up into T1 for me.
Dadson, can he go faster? No, he cannot.
Black Project, P9 currently. Last one across the line he'll be. Ricky Bobby and Black Project doesn't improve. So P9 for Black Project.
Alright, so Karen takes pole position in round 1 here, Championship B. Evo with P2. He'll probably be a bit disappointed with that. He would have wanted pole there. Old Wakey with a fantastic lap there to get himself P3. An unfortunate incident stopping him from setting another. But a very interesting front couple of rows. So, Karen and Evo lock out the front row. Old Wakey and Ricky Bobby the second. Bumcrack of... so he's gone to Lightning, wasn't it? I've already forgotten. I was going to call him a Ragged Edge driver. DJ Brain as well on the third row. Cruising and Killer the fourth. And Corey Hack at the back. Eyes on the lights. Lights are out and the drivers are off. There's a terrible start at the back there from someone. And Corey's gone through with a bit of contact. Karen's clear. Evo. They're nearly 4 wide into turn 1. Evo goes a little bit deep on the brakes. Old Wakey Manages to hold P3. There they go. Through they go. Any damage for drivers down the field? It doesn't look like it.
Just looking. Nah, cars are all clean still. Karen just lost a lot of speed through the back end of the circuit there, as Evo's just got right on back of him again now. In slipstream range for the back straight.
There we go. So Karen was nice and clear through the first corner, but one little mistake through that early sector, and you lose a whole lot of time.
Oh, someone clipped the wall there. I think they're alright though, damage-wise, yep. Okay, so looking down the field real quick as the first lap, guys, we've got Ricky Bobby on the hard tyre, P4. Datsun P7 on the hard tyre, and Corey Hack, Debrev, Black Project are all on the hard tyre, as it looks like it's going to be on for the lead here, guys.
Yep, Evil Evo to the inside. Karen doesn't make a move to defend. What happened there? Evil Evo pulled out really early. Got on the brakes nice and early. Let him have it.
DJ Bain made a move on Ricky Bobby there, so Ricky Bobby's starting to struggle on those cold.
Couple of guys
tires.
too wide there at the back there as well. Corey Hack's looking to make moves. There's a couple of guys behind him that are side by side. P9 there, and he's behind his teammate now as well. Gave his teammate a nice tow in qualifying. Maybe Corey can get a nice run down the straight here.
A couple of these guys at the back, these guys back three are all on hard, so as long as they stay within grasp of the pack, they should be alright.
There's a big dive there.
Way dive.
Oh, he's gone into his teammate, has he?
Rear damage from Cruisin there. He's cut his teammate off. Debrev had nowhere to go. Let's put damage on the back of Cruisin's car. So that's aero damage for the back. That's going to make the back end really loose.
These guys are all bunched up here as well. Ricky Bobby with a bit of clear out in front.
He's going to have to just keep calm through, I think, Black Project, wait for a move, because he's not wanting to pick up damage from the back of the field at the moment. Back up the front, though. Karen's still holding these guys back and behind him here.
That top three is looking like they're running away with it here. DJ Brain can't hold pace.
Oh, Ricky Bobby with damage on the front end as well. So that's front left-hand wheel and front aero damage for the Gallagher Obsession Motorsport car. That's a shame on the hard tyres. He was in good position on those tyres.
I think he can keep going as it is. He might be able to recover something. That's the sort of damage it's kind of touch and go to pit for, I think. But we'll see what decision he makes. Looks like Killer on the loose going for a move back there as well.
Oh, he's gone wide of the hair. He can't turn it in. See that in the hairpin? Just Ricky Bobby could not turn it right.
That's left. Quite interesting. So he got a bit of guard rub, because that is something that we know is simulated here in Gran Turismo 7.
He's going again. No, he didn't go in.
He's committed to it. Fair enough. Good on him.
He's going to try and carry that damage on the hard tyre. Probably the best tyre wear-wise to carry some front-end damage. That way the tyre's going to wear. Oh, he can't turn it. Look how late the turn-in is.
Interesting moment that we've missed there as well. Corey Hack has been let through by his teammate very politely. Killer on the loose, let him straight through. Even though Corey's on the hard tyres. Yeah, very smart.
Though. Tucks in behind him now, just follow him through.
That's a team dynamic that you want at every team, isn't it?
Corey's a Group A runner. He started from the back because he couldn't make Group A. He wasn't available. So he had to start from the back of the field. So he should be running in the other group tonight, but unavailability, then popping back up, put him back in Group B. So
at least he gets to run and scores himself some points.
Absolutely.
So with the top three, he'll be straight back into Group A as well. So
yeah, there'll be a big shuffle in the first couple of rounds, just with the points being so low. As there's a look for the lead again, Evo X.
It's been a tidy start there from Corey. Oh, that was very close between Karen and Evil. Wow. I was just saying, I think Corey's he's had a really good start. You really just want to avoid damage and a big incident at the beginning of this race, because that can really put a lot of pain to your race if you're forced to take an early pit stop, and Corey's done very well to avoid that there, I think.
Karen does a 26-1 race lap. Thanks for coming.
Yeah.
3/4 of tank of fuel on the medium tyre.
Well, the question is, who's running the hards now? Because he who runs the hards first stint sets the fastest lap, I think.
Ricky Bobby is on the hard tyre. He's the leader of the hard tyres in P6 at the moment with damage. And then you've got Corey Hack in 8, who's probably going to catch Ricky Bobby next couple of laps, so he's moving through the field.
I think Corey might take on that fastest lap challenge towards the end, because he'll get a lighter car with mediums. So that could be very interesting to watch as well.
Current fastest lap is a 27.9 in traffic, currently behind Datsun's car, which is skipping a little bit at the moment. So he's got to make a move and be very careful with how he makes his move.
He's got to get by as quick as he can. They're both getting backed up here by Datsun as well. both Corey
Dadson's
and
just-
Killer.
He's on hards as well, Datsun. So he's just struggling to keep the temperature in those hard tyres as the fog is set in again. Thought I'd give these guys a bit of an added challenge tonight. Didn't want it too sunny for them.
Right, well here we go. On board with Corey. He's got some
Should make
overspeed
a
on
move.
Dadson here. To the inside he goes.
Oh, lead change.
Evil Evo takes the lead as well.
Yeah, into the hairpin. Set him up. Got a good run.
Corey's gone through on Dadson there. Forces him a little bit wide. That might allow Killer through as well. Not quite. Dadson managed to hold on there, but Corey is through.
I tell you what, Killer is a very polite racer, isn't he? He's
He's
not
got
about just shoving it in there. He waits for the nice moment. He might have a go into turn one here though, as he looks to set him up down the inside. He's going to make a move.
there we go.
Very
Yeah,
polite race driver. I
But-
really like that.
by the book, isn't it? That's what it looks like. Although it might be his undoing a little bit because he
Oh,
breaks
dearie
very
me.
early there and allows Dadson to get back on it.
So just zipping my way down the back of the field at the moment. It's a black project with both front suspension and front aero damage. Debrev with rear aero and right rear suspension damage. Those cars looking... Oh, look at Debrev's car walking under brakes there too. The back end just wants to pass the front. That's not in a good place, that car.
No, that damage could be really
Oh.
hurting him.
Oh,
Old
Wakey with
Wakey's
the
got himself a
penalty.
half second here up the front, so that's going to really
Just
drop
gonna
him out
hurt.
of this.
DJ Brain will be rubbing his hands together in a second because he's going to grab him up the back straight, I reckon. Half a second, drops the anchor in the penalty boon. Penalty zone.
Look up ahead there. You can see barely Old Wakey's car through the fog. And now DJ Brain comes down. He's going to get nice and close to him here. The half second doesn't hurt you too much here. And with a little bit of fighting up the front, Old Wakey might be able to recover something here. And he's done very well into that that last hairpin, given a different speed on the way in. But
Just stayed outside of slipstream range, which has probably helped him a bit there, I think.
yeah, he's done all right there.
This is on for the lead again though. Karen's closing on an Evo 10 again.
I think it's
Evo
Evo 9.
sorry.
Yeah, I was just
Evo
gonna
9,
say.
yeah. I just
think it's
looked
Evo
at
9.
it again.
He's got that little eye that you can't really quite see, but he's working it. This battle for first is going to go all the way to the end of the race, and I think I really hope Old Wakey can have something to say about it. And of course, the more that he does, the more chance Corey has to catch them up as well.
Corey Hack's now caught Ricky Bobby, so this is a little battle of the hard tyre runners now for P6 and 7.
Ricky Bobby with damage as well.
Still running that bit of damage in the front, so just hurting his turn in a little bit, I think, for the left-hand corners. The car's tyre wear looks pretty good, so it might be just a minor brush damage. I reckon he's just rubbed a wall.
All right, we'll jump on board with Corey here. It doesn't
How
look
good
like
is that
there's going to be a
on-board
lead
camera?
change.
That static on-board camera from the middle of the car, it's a fantastic
It's
camera,
it's
new
brilliant.
development for GT7. Nice little battle here between Dadson and Killer as they're still having a crack at it. They've got to get on with it though, because Cruisen's starting to close in now in the RCLL car behind them. Our new sponsor for RCLL this season with Gamesman jumping on board for title sponsor for all 4 cars.
Gamesman's been around Sector 1 for a long time, haven't they?
Yeah, they come from Deeds originally, and
Wow.
Deeds has doubled down on their Deeds liveries now, and they've let Gamesman go for a full sponsorship deal with RCLL, who were without a sponsor at the beginning of the season.
Well, here we go. Corey's going for a move on Ricky Bobby here. Goes straight through by the looks. Nice and
Nice
easy.
move.
Ricky Bobby did not work hard to keep that at all.
The trap speed was different on the car, so whether it's a gearbox tune difference or whether that front aero damage is
I
really
would
starting to
say
slow
so,
up.
yeah.
Ricky Bobby down the front straight.
Killer's
He's tucked
got-
in behind him now.
Killer's got Dadson as well there, so that's vital for him. Killer obviously on the medium
Killer's
tyres.
Killer's got damage too now.
He does, yep, I see
Yep.
that. Ricky Bobby's going to try hold on to Corey as long as he can
Ricky
here.
Bobby gave Corey a tap then. He's just running him a little bit wide, just letting him know that he's still there as he looks side by side through the back end of the circuit. That's not where you want to be side by side, fellas. This is not what this. Yeah,
Corey lets it
Hack
go.
with a smart move. Just tucks himself in behind again because that is not a 2-lane piece of track there.
We did see a couple of guys go 2x2 through there in the
That's
last
brave.
race, and it went quite well for the car on the inside, which would have been Corey there, but he lives to fight another day. I think he's hanging out for his medium stint here. Not too worried about where he's at the moment, but here we go. Look at the speed difference.
Yeah,
Look at
huge
that.
speed difference, isn't it?
He's done something there.
Look at the dents on the brakes. So that car is very loose. I do like the new setups now with the full tuning, because the guys can tune the car how they want to drive it. So some of the guys have a really loose setup, the car moves around a lot under brakes, and some of the guys are more into having the car set up so it's a little bit slower in straight line speed, but it handles really, really well.
It's a fine line you gotta ride there as well, because loose is fast, but obviously it's hard to control. So you got to find something that you want to drive for 30 laps, but is also quick enough to be competitive, and it's a hard spot to find. And I think some people are excelling at it more than others here. The Red Mist guys look like they're looking pretty solid in these cars.
Cruisen's now caught Dadson as well as the sun breaks through the clouds again. Dadson looks like he's starting to really struggle on those hard tyres. That car is not behaving where he wants it to at the moment. This Cruisen looks very strong behind him now, so also on the hard tyre with that rear damage. Oh! So Cruisen carrying a rear aero damage as well, so rear bumper. The under tray's got a bit of a dent.
The gap at the front's extended a little bit. It looks like Evil's starting to stretch his legs, run away from Karen a little bit. And Karen obviously was very quick, so...
But notice the gap has stabilised back to Old Wakey now, and now DJ Brain's right with him, and don't count out Bumcrack as well. He's not far behind him. He's only 2 seconds behind DJ.
It's a 5-man train there, and then of course Corey Hack a little way behind is still making a little bit of inroads.
I think Corey's going to make a move, like you said before, on the mediums. He'll start to pick up the pace. Karen still holds the fastest lap with the 26.1, which is probably going to be knocked off at some point later in the race.
Well,
he goes really wide into one.
We say it might be knocked off, but it might have been slipstream assisted, which would make it quite difficult for Corey to knock it off, because he's going to be running by himself for the majority of this race, it looks like. Well, that's what his strategy is counting on.
So looking at tyre wear at the moment too, so Bumcrack, DJ and Evo X have the best tyre wear of the top 5 quite happily. Evo's looking really good at the front. He's looking very strong at the moment, the Lightning Motorsport car.
He's the complete package, isn't he, that guy?
Absolutely.
So DJ Brain's really brought himself back into this as well. And it looks like Old Wakey's tucking himself into the slipstream there of Karen as well. So this is now a 3-car train all the way down the straight here. Going to be a lot of benefits all the way back into the fog.
A bit wide there in exit again though, so he's going right out wider. That final hairpin there really is detrimental for you run down the front straight.
Yeah,
you've got to reset the car over that lip.
That Stro, there's a little bit of a lack of grip, which will spin up your outside tyre, which kills your drive.
This top 5's actually really closing up now, guys. It's now only 4.4 seconds back to 5th place from the lead, and it's only 2.5 back to DJ Brain in 4th. So this little pack's really starting to form up.
You look at them on the mini map; it looks amazing. Those
We're
5.
going to see a great race. Yeah, absolutely.
And Karen's pulled right up to Evil Evo as well. There's been an incident there for Evo.
Karen's done some good fuel save as well. He's just under half a tank now, just on it. Old Wakey's about the same. DJ Brain's better again. The two...
Evil Evo's been pushing it, hasn't he?
Yeah, and he's having to tow them around the track now too as well, which isn't helping him. Keep an eye on Old Wakey though. I think he's in with the shot here. He's just starting to close up. DJ Brain going with him.
He's having a very impressive race.
Bumcrack's just got to use the car up now, get on the back of this train and tie onto the back of him. He's 1.2 off the back of DJ. He's closing it quickly actually. He's now 4.1 seconds off the lead. This is really starting to close up.
This is good for Bumcrack if he can get close. Corey's losing a bit of time to these guys, but it's natural because he is on the hard tyres. 13.2 is the gap at the moment. A lot to catch up on a medium stint.
I've just heard from the grapevine that the Group A lobby has run and done. So expect to see some results pop up either on the Discord or via Facebook, guys. So
I'd love to hear the results on stream. That would be amazing. I got 2 drivers in there I'm counting on.
I'll see if I can get a full...
Alright, well, we'll keep an ear out for that, but in the meantime, this top battle's really heating up. Evil Evo's pulled a gap to Karen again, extended it out past 1 second, and Karen the same back to Old Wakey. So these guys are toing and throwing a little bit and coming close and then separating again. The dirty air seemingly affecting them as much as the slipstream is. DJ Brain P4 is now at a slipstream as well, but Bumcrack has closed up nicely, so he's put himself in a very good position in the locked up motorsport car there. Corey's still holding that 13.3 to the lead there, 9 seconds to Bumcrack, so he's just got to put in consistent laps now, maybe fuel save a bit, keep his car nice and tidy and shorten his stop, because it's a very long stop here. I think we forgot to mention this in the last race as well. In Gran Turismo Sport, the refuel rate was 7 litres per second, and in Gran Turismo 7 in lobbies, the default setting for refuel rate is 3 litres per second. So if you need to fill up 30 litres, it's going to take you 10 seconds. And these guys are filling up 90, which is going to take you 30. It's a long stop. So
that really benefits the guys that can fuel save. Like, you're looking at 2 or 3 litres benefit, you're looking at 6 seconds difference.
Yeah. As soon as you say 5 litres, that's 2 seconds. So it's a huge difference. Oftentimes it's going to be a case of sit behind and save here instead of overtake. So Evil Evo's going to really struggle when it comes to that, because he's looking a lot weaker than these guys on fuel. You look at the difference between him and Karen, there's probably 10% there, maybe even.
Yeah, Karen and DJ Brain are both in the box seat for fuel at the moment. As DJ Brain, Old Wakey and Bumcrack are all closed up together now for 3rd through 5th. I've got the finishing order coming in to onto my desk very shortly, guys, for Group A, so I will call it out when we get a bit of a lull in the... Oh, someone's around at the back of the field. I just saw it on the map. It's Killer on the loose. Big damage. Huge damage.
Oh, no.
That car's going straight to the garage.
That's at the beginning of the lap as well, so that's the worst place to have it happen.
I reckon he's caught that curb on the outside of the exit to turn 1.
He played the team game as well. He was really helping his teammate out. So I think he's going to have to bite the bullet here, fuel right up, and put the hards on, and go to the end on those.
Everybody has to run the hards regardless. So if you're running the hard second, you're in a load of luck if you have to go through the pits for damage, because you can get the hard tyre on and run along.
Yeah,
it's actually a massive penalty. The game actually implements a massive penalty, because I've got the lobby set with the tyre that you have to use is the hard.
Yeah.
And if you don't use the hard tyre, the game gives you a 1 minute penalty post race, which means that you go from first to last. Period.
Wow.
That's it. Race over. And I have tested it. It does work, which is not ideal for the person that's...
Black Project cruises by Killer there as well. Benefit of having a functional engine. But pit lane is coming up nice and quick for Killer, so he'll get in there, and I think he needs to make this his race pit stop. He'll have to do 18 laps on the hards, which is certainly possible. The question will be fuel. The fuel will be what's in question. He's saved a lot though here. He's got over a quarter of a tank left, so we'll see what he does. He can definitely make something of this race.
That lead started to fluctuate again now. Bumcrack's fallen off the back of that pack.
He has 1.8 seconds gone. DJ is applying some pressure to Old Wakey here.
DJ is looking strong. If he can stay within touch of Karen, he might be on for a podium here quite happily with that fuel usage.
You've got to remember Corey's coming as well, so he's certainly going to throw a spanner in the mix here. It's going to be very interesting to see the difference.
Yeah. Corey's now pulled 2 seconds on these guys in the last 2 laps. He was 9 seconds behind Bumcrack. He's now 7. He's taking Ricky Bobby with him too in the background. There's Ricky Bobby who's actually got better fuel usage than Corey as well, so don't count out Ricky Bobby for a late run either.
Yeah, he's done alright.
I've actually had word now from the guys at the Group A lobby. Apparently there was going to be a lot of complaints about full damage, so those guys were banging panels pretty hard from what I can hear.
Wow.
So they're a bit upset with life, as Killer on the loose has come out now after repairing his car. He's come out right in amongst the lead pack. He needs to avoid the blue flags and get out of the way. You need to avoid the blue flags. Killer, get out of the way, bud.
Oh, he's doing his team lead duty and holding him up there.
He did his best to get out of the way. He pulled up and let him through. Good job. It's a bit hard sometimes when you get the blue flag in an awkward spot like the S's there.
Yeah, it is. But he's done well. He's shown for sure that he is the politest driver in Sector 1, I think. Most respectful. He's got really good track mannerism there, I think. So, really good stuff. Cruising in for his pit stop. Evil Evo away at 1.5 seconds from Karen. But it looks like he might lose 2 seconds in the stop. There's definitely more than 6% difference in fuel there, so Karen may still get the jump on him. Old Wakey 2 seconds back with DJ Brain all over his rear wing.
Alright, so I have a finishing order list for Group A. Would you like to hear it, sir, after the pit stops
We've
go
got
through?
pit stops coming in, so they're all coming in all at once now.
Alright, we'll watch the pit stops, and then we'll go with the... Oh, Bumcrack's going to go round, guys. He's going to keep
Goes
going.
around again. Corey's going to go around again. No surprise on the hard tyres.
Oh, the hard tyre, yeah.
So end of lap 13, those guys are pitting. So I think Killer is not too far off. I think he's done alright there to get his damage on lap 12 and box there.
Evo's fuel usage though, wow. 15 left in the tank.
Yeah. So
good.
What's the maths? 22. That's 7 litres between Evil Evo and Karen. So Karen is going to come out ahead of Evil Evo.
Oh, for sure.
It's guaranteed.
For sure it feels.
Probably by about a half second, I would say. So he's going to gain
close.
2 and a bit seconds.
Karen's on the
2.3.
move.
Quick maths.
Oh, look at them. They're all on top of each other. Oh, Wakey, DJ
Oh,
Brain,
wow,
Karen,
look at that.
and
It's
Evo
brought them all
X.
back
Look
together.
how far-
Oh,
Wakey on the inside.
He nearly tried it there. That was amazing. DJ Brain there.
That was
And
great.
Evil Evo is miles back. These guys have short fueled.
Absolutely.
They put 90% in. And
Yeah, okay.
Evil Evo's way back. So he's going to have car to use, but he's going to catch them first.
Wow. So this is why this is going to wake this race right up now with these guys. Karen is effectively the race leader at the moment. But look how close this pack is. Oh, Wakey.
Great strategic move from DJ and Old Wakey.
Oh,
I
Wakey.
think,
Well, end of last season, his team folded out in front of him. Didn't know what he was doing. Didn't know where he was going. Only because he had to go with young Wacky. They had to go to the same team.
Oh,
They
yeah.
were both
Yep.
picked up by locked up. As Bumcrack comes in with 13 in the tank, he's in trouble. Did do the extra lap though. Corey hacks in on the hards.
Yep.
Ricky Bobby flies past, still carrying that damage. Ricky Bobby.
Corey hacked with the same amount of fuel as Evil Evo had the lap before.
Does Corey run hard? Because the game, you only have to run the hard tyre. You don't have to run the medium if you don't want to. Everyone prefers to run the medium, but the game won't penalise you for running just hards.
I think he's got to run the mediums. He wasn't making inroads on that hard, although he was holding. He's got to put the mediums on here, make that move.
I'm
We're
not
on board
actually
with
sure
Evil
what
Evo.
what the Sector 1 rulebook says about running just hards. I think you have to run the medium as well. I'm sure someone will pop up in the chat in a minute and go, you're an idiot. This is
I
what's
believe
supposed
it was
to happen.
both, yeah.
DJ Brain down the inside into turn 1. Grabs Old Wakey. As Old Wakey tries to cut back under. These guys have just demolished Bumcrack. He's 4 seconds behind Evo X. That last extra lap just really hurt him.
Wow.
Corey's
Corey's
close up too.
5.8 down on him, and he's on the mediums, so he's looking
Medium
pretty
tyre.
good. He's filled up quite heavily as well. He's got the same as Bumcrack, less than Evil Evo, but more than Wakey, DJ, and Karen.
So he's seen the medium tyre runners from the start of the race go to lap 15 on a medium tyre and go, well, I can do that. I'll do that for the end.
Yeah,
So he's split
absolutely.
the race right down the middle. He's going to run the rest of the race on mediums. His car's going to be really skatey by the end of the race. Ricky Bobby, though, this could be massive for Obsession. He's still going on those hard tyres, and he goes around again. So he's still stretching the hards out. So he's going to have a short stint on the medium tyres towards the end of the race.
He may not have a lot of faith in the medium tyres lasting, but it's questionable because he's got damage, which will be slowing him down. I think he really should have pitted that lap, so it's a very interesting strategy. Dadson comes in with
Dadson
5
goes in.
litres on board. Karen
That
leads
completes
the
the
way.
field.
I think Karen is honestly in the best position right now. Like, he's got more fuel than the 2 cars behind him. He's showing that he's got pace over them. His closest threat is Evil Evo, and then Corey behind, who is not making significant inroads yet. He's still 5.7 behind Bumcrack after that lap.
Alright, well, now that this has sort of cleansed itself out, because Ricky Bobby, when he does pit, he will drop down the order. I'll quickly go through the Group A finishing order
Alright.
for everybody. So, listen up guys, this is Group A. So, Distinct Andrew wins it for ASR, so it's straight out of the back, Group
big
A
thumbs
win
up
for
for
the
me.
new team.
Yes!
Kiwi Raikkonen and Corgi fill out the podium. So Kiwi Raikkonen second, Corgi third. So great, hey, black light, wee. Knuckles in P4 for Lucky's Lawn Care Racing. Race Fan out of P5 there with this run for CP Motorsports. So Race Fan actually got called up to Group A tonight, so great job for him. He was supposed to be in this race that we're watching now. Noodles, one of the new guys, ran P6 in, I think that's one of the locked up motorsport cars. The
ASR,
picture's really small, guys.
That's one of mine.
Oh, is one of yours? I can't see the car. It's so small, the picture. GTP Greatness in the second of the CP cars ran P7. Speedy Tyres in P8 with CJ Esports. Captain Muffin in P9 for Team 53. Walker Davey P10 for Deeds. That's interesting. Stickers P11 in his step up to Group A. Great job, Stickers. Lanocious P12 for Obsession Motorsport. It was a transfer from Deeds Racing last season. Lucky in P13, and P14 was down as running, so somebody has obviously either dropped out or left or something, so I'll see if I have any idea what happened there.
I would assume that would be our 3-time champion TX3 GDR.
He didn't start.
He didn't start?
He's one of the cars that was unavailable. That's why this race is short for runners.
So that'll be his drop round. So.
Ando. So Ando 787 did not finish the race for Team 53, so question mark over that. There.
Interesting. Well, that's a really interesting finishing order. So the two FSR boys, second and third, are they on the same team this year?
No. So Kiwi Raikkonen is continuing to run for Datsun Motorsport like he has done since he's joined.
Yep.
And Corgi has stayed with Blacklight.
Right. Oh.
So Corgi's having another run at the championship after running second 2 years in a row. So we're going to have our fingers crossed that he can get the Blacklight Ammo racing car to the top of the championship this year.
Alright, well, I'm very happy with my boys. They take a first and a sixth. There's no word on the fastest lap, I presume. Old Wakey up the inside of DJ Brain. Ricky Bobby finally into the pits at the end of lap 18. Wow. And Corey not really making a lot of inroads here on Bumcrack. He's still 5 seconds behind him, thereabouts. Evil Evo is close to Old Wakey, though, and Old Wakey... He's gone for a move on DJ Brain, who's gone a bit wide at turn 1, but he gets the exit. That's brought them right up close together again.
Alright, Ricky Bobby's exited the pits now on the medium tyre. Full 3/4 tank of fuel. P7 behind Corey Hack. So he's lost effectively 2 seconds, really, because he was about 3 seconds behind Corey Hack when they went in.
He certainly gave himself clear air for a little bit there, which is quite good.
And he has repaired that front aero and front suspension damage, so that car is straight as an arrow, ready to go.
Nice. That'll be a good feeling. It'll be really bad luck if he damaged it again on one of the first few laps.
Oh, that'd suck. Cold tyres, they're cold.
So Corey is our one to watch at the moment. 4.2 seconds down on Mr. Bumcrack, and 11.7 down on Carrot, which was, I believe, 13.4. So he's made about 2 seconds up so far on the lead, but 11 seconds from here to the end. That's a second a lap. I don't know if he can do it.
I'll be watching Corey Hack and Ricky Bobby here. Ricky Bobby ran fastest in practice quite a bit, so you might see a fastest lap out of Ricky Bobby yet too. As the front pack starts to battle, and they'll really slow each other up.
DJ Wakey and Evil Evo right on top of each other here, eh?
Yeah, Evo's caught up to him now, so this is these guys slowing each other down. Evo was quite a few seconds behind him.
Old Wakey on for a move again. Look at the flames shooting out the side there. Goes for the move up the inside. Sticks it right on the apex. Move. That was amazing.
Beautiful move. Nice bit of driving there for DJ Brain. Just to hold the inside line slightly open. Looks like the sun's just starting to set a little bit too now, so they get that milky glow to the atmosphere of the track at the moment.
Yeah, nice colours. Love to see it. So Evil Evo's got to have a response here for these guys. He's got more fuel on board. Like, it looks like he's overfueled even. So he's got to do something here to get by these guys. Because I think they're holding up at this point. He is 2.5 seconds up the road.
I'll be happy for him if he wins it, but we'll never hear the end of it.
Oh, we love him. We love him.
We do.
On board in the car as well.
Passionate fella.
Oh, look at that Dragon Ball Z helmet he's got going on there. That looks amazing. And the yellow suit as well to match the car. Love to see it.
Yeah, guys that have been watching the series for the last couple of seasons now would know that the Deeds cars change their colours every round. So yellow car this week will be a insert other colour here car next week.
Hashtag a milky glow in the chat. Good stuff from you, Ghost.
Is that Ghost?
He loved that one. You liked that one, I think.
You're welcome.
Old Wakey's clear of DJ, and Evil Evo's gone for a move now on the inside of DJ. Same
CJ's
again.
not quite letting him through. He's not opening the door as much as he did. Oh,
Bit of contact. He's kept it straight, but he's lost a bit of time there. I say a bit of time, a lot of time.
Evo didn't lift either. He's decided to keep moving. He thinks that was all fair. He's up far enough, according to him. So,
well, we'll see what the stewards say. I'm sure there's some pens clicking in the distance somewhere, but we'll get on with the race as it is. So Evil Evo takes third position and goes in pursuit of Old Wakey. 1.9 seconds now. He can catch him, I'm sure.
Corey's light now. It's getting awfully dark. Corey Hack is now actually closing in on Bumcrack now, 2.5 seconds and closing out of P6. So
yeah,
he's going to be a late charge for the podium. 9 laps to go. He might still make the podium here.
Going to be a close one. He's got to catch Evil Evo though, and that's no easy task. I know he's on the hards, but it's a big one.
Keep an eye on Ricky Bobby too. He just did a 1:26.2, which was just shy of the fastest lap of the race, and he's actually closing on Corey Hack. And he's purple by half a second this lap. He's absolutely flying. If Corey Hack gets caught up behind Bumcrack, Ricky Bobby's going to be on him.
He's going to be there. 4.5 seconds to gain. But his car's super fresh. Fresh tyres.
Very fast.
Low fuel. He's looking very good. He's going to get himself the fastest lap here though. Into the 25s.
It's going to be easily done. It'll be in the 25s.
There's that extra point to the line. On board with Ricky Bobby here. Across the line we go. 25.6. Wow.
That's a lap and a half.
No one's touching that one today, I don't think. As he goes excessively deep into turn one.
Yeah, what I call the purple box syndrome. When you get a purple marker and you get excited and you're over in the next corner.
It throws you for another one. So less than 2 seconds, Corey to Bumcrack now. Less than 10 seconds to the lead. 8 laps to go, 8.5 laps to go.
Oh, bit of a battle here for the World Championship for P10 at the moment between Killer and Lewis and Black Project RX7. So Killer recovering from that early stop, big damage area.
P10, yeah.
Black Project he's actually got front damage again.
Yeah.
So he's been battering around the old black light car this year. It's a good thing it's a pretty basic black and white livery this season.
That red mist car looks very quick in a straight line as well.
It does.
He hasn't even touched him there.
Oh,
They've both gone very wide.
Yeah, they're very too deep into turn one. I don't think they're enjoying life. Debrev's actually starting to reel him in a little bit too, so he might be on the back of this as well very shortly. Karen is just maintaining at the moment with a 2.1 second lead, so he's not really getting away from old Wakey, who's cleared away.
Down a little bit. 2.5 it was before, but I think put it in conserve mode and just bring it home from here.
So lap 22, 1:27.053 for Karen, 1:27.055 for old Wakey. How much closer can you get?
The mirror images, that's amazing. Evil Evo, 2.3 behind old Wakey now. Is he going to mount a challenge here? I think he might.
It's actually getting darker too, so the temperature around the track will be dropping. These little turbo 2 litres will be really loving the fact that the air temperature's coming down.
Corey's on a best lap. He might even dip into the 25s here as well.
He's just starting to get a little bit of a tease of a slipstream from Bumcrack at the moment, so he's not quite there.
1.2 there. He might get it on this back straight. There we go. He's got that carrot dangled in front of him now as well. When you can see a car this close, it becomes a whole different game. Although, look at that. The gap extends. Let's see if that red mist car's got something in the straight here. Look at that.
You're welcome, Sean.
Delta's coming down. Well, not quite. There we go. Down it comes. About half a tenth there as he hits 6th gear.
He's riding under the back of Bumcrack now, so this is only a matter of time, I think, before he runs him down.
The gaps are so consistent between the top 6 drivers here. Amazing.
They're doing an excellent job, these guys. And it's getting darker still. Look at this.
There we go. It's down to under a second. Look at the time he's jumping out of him on that Delta on the top left corner.
That car is quick in a straight line, isn't it?
That final gear is just so fast.
The Red Mist Score's definitely got a car set up for straight line speed. I'll give them that, because their cars are like a bullet down the front straight. So
good for overtaking. Real good for overtaking.
Toe out, low in the front, so good aero, I reckon. Probably not a lot of downforce in these cars, maybe.
Yeah,
maybe
might be
them really light.
Well, I think for this track you can afford to do that because there's 2 fairly long straights, isn't there?
He's on him now, though. I reckon down the back straight he's going to have him along the back here.
Yep.
He's right on him. As
This will be the move for P5 for Corey Hack.
This is the hard tyre, just not quite having the pace of the soft tyre, of the medium tyre. Sorry, as Corey now right on the back bumper, tucking that slipstream. You have him into the hairpin.
Here we go.
He won't even clear him
Watch
before
after he
gets
changes to 6th gear here. Look at this. They're the same speed now. 6th gear comes. Look at that. Look at how fast he closes. Nearly goes in for a move. And the same's going to happen now on this main straight as well. Watch this. It's that 6th gear, man. It's absolutely mind-boggling. It's more or less the same. In fact, it looks like Bumcrack might even be faster up until 6th. And then look at that. 6th gear comes and the delta just comes down. Look at that. That's a 10th already. Down into 2 tenths. Not quite. Oh, that's close. Still looking for it.
I can't see anything at the moment. The screen's gone black.
I'll walk you through it. Mr. Bumcrack still got P5 here. 2.5 seconds down from DJ Brown, but he'll be thinking of one thing, and that's his rear view mirror. Corey Hack still 4 tenths down. He's got to find a way past quickly because there's not much time left on this medium tyre before it loses all its pace advantage over those hards. It's got a lot of wear on it now, and the gap to Ricky Bobby is coming down as well. 4.5 seconds. It was over 5 before. Corey now 8 seconds behind Brent up in front. So he can potentially catch these guys, but he's going to be hard pressed. Evil Evo within the slipstream range of Old Wakey now as well. So this is all on as well.
Yeah, I can't see. My screen is black. The race is still going, but I literally can't see a thing at the moment. So I'm just gonna have to go off what I can see on the stream beside me. Unfortunately,
Have you
it's really frustrating.
have you exited the spectate and gone back in, or is it not allowing you to do that?
I did that. That's what's made it go black. I was coming out to try and check on
Oh no.
something else in the lobby, and that's yeah, that's unfortunate.
Oh man. Alright, here we go. This might be the move for P5 here. Corey Hack up the inside, goes late on the brakes in the turn. He's gone way too deep though. Touches the grass on the outside and he's looped it around as well.
Oh dear.
Can he recover? Ricky Bobby's right there. He's going to be right on him on the exit too. It might only be P6 here for Corey.
Oh wow, that's way too deep.
Oh man. And Bumcrack held his nerve, braked right on time. Came back for an apex even. Didn't even try hold around the outside. It's getting real dark for these guys now as well.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's got really dark.
Can't see a thing. Maybe he couldn't see his brake marker, I don't know. Evil Evo is the one we're watching now. This is where the race is. He's right on the back of Old Wakey as they come down the back straight towards the hairpin. Here we go, the slipstream in effect. Old Wakey goes defensive. Early on the brakes, this is going to be a great corner for Evil Evo. Old Wakey's compromised there. Gets a good exit, nice and tidy. Might see the move here down into turn 1. Karen Unleashed is off and running. Looks like he won't be troubled for the rest of the race. Here we go, closing right in, Evil Evo. Does he go to the inside? Does he go to the outside? Looks to the inside. Not defended by Old Wakey. And look at that. Up the inside, there's a bit of contact on the way in.
I've got the HUD and the map and everything coming back up, but I've got no picture, so I'll go off that.
You look at the...
So just
give me tyre wear. Just give me tyre wear.
Stuff like that, feel like.
Oh man.
This game.
Evil Evo up to P2 now, so that's a great result for him. I think.
Karen is just walking this away, I think, guys.
Yep, he's got it covered.
Look how much the back of that pack's closed up, though.
Yeah, there's more going on back here that we're missing. Corey Hack's under pressure from Ricky Bobby.
Corey Hack's really lit up now, so it's 2 of a second between those guys.
Ricky Bobby's got slightly fresher tyres, but it's level pegging between them, really. Cruisin is off on his own at the moment, so plenty of time either side. That's in P9, Killer
P10. 3 laps to go.
Yep. About 3 laps to go for these guys.
It's like my brightness has gone out because I just saw the penalty burn yellow icon things pop up.
Oh, I've seen that. I think I've had this bug that you're talking about as well. It's like when you're skipping a replay.
Right, so the gap between Old Wake and Evo is now 0.3 of a second as they go down the front straight. Looks like it's starting to close up a little bit.
He's got that
slipstream.
He's not going to get a chance to have a move. It looks like Evil Evo's got some of that.
A really long gearbox in that car, I noticed too. It wasn't even close to the rev limiter down the front straight.
Evil Evo's got some of that red mist straight line speed there going on as well by the look of things. Looking very fast. DJ Brain's pretty safe from Mr. Bumcrack in P4. Corey Hack's closed up to him again though. 1.2 seconds now to Mr. Bumcrack after he lost all that time. So
these guys know I can't see what I'm doing. What we got now? 28 laps down through the back of the circuit.
Yep. There's so much going on. We can't keep up with every individual thing. Old Wakey, does he have an answer for Evil Evo? Will Evil Evo make a mistake on this back straight? Half a second now. Looks like Old Wakey doesn't have the pace on straight here. Like you say, that long gearbox coming in. Not a long gearbox actually. He's got a very short sixth gear. Closes right up there. Through we go. He's not going to be close enough for a move this time around.
Can't see anything.
Is Evil Evo going to get close enough to go for a move on Karen? He's 2.1 down now.
Alright, so Karen enters the final lap.
Now we've got 2 laps to go now.
Old Wakey.
They're on lap
DJ
29.
Brain's in the still as well as they go through the first turn.
Yep, he's looking alright. He's still in the toe of Old Wakey, but he's not close enough to mount a challenge. Corey Hack's now able to put pressure on Mr. Bumcrack. Ricky Bobby's playing the patient game, waiting for the opportunity to get by, but he's applying a lot of pressure there. And they're running slow laps now as well, those medium tyres. Seriously wearing off. Corey's going to need to get past Mr. Bumcrack quickly here. Otherwise he will be left under attack from Ricky Bobby. High pressure here. Both got the slipstream on this back straight. What'll they do? Into the tunnel. Ricky Bobby's got a bit of straight line speed here. Looks to the outside. Is he going to cut back? Not quite. Corey gets the better exit. Have a look back here on board with Mr. Bumcrack. Looking back at Corey. Will Corey go for a move? He's going to have to go defensive of some kind. Look at the flames. They look amazing during the night here. Corey sticks his nose in. Can't quite get it there. Mr. Bumcrack's held it out wide though, but he will get the exit.
I can't hear you as much.
No worries. Let's have a look here. The three-way battle is looking pretty hectic at the moment. The top 3 are all pretty much said and done here. And keep an eye on Bumcrack, Corey and Ricky Bobby. Can Corey hold on?
Backing right off.
Karen's he's got more fuel than Evil Evo at the moment, so it looks like he might be safe. But they're all taking it fairly easy down this back straight. Old Wakey's got even less than the pair of them. DJ, Bumcrack's fine for fuel. Corey's low. Ricky has more. Is there a move into the final corner? Corey goes defensive against Ricky Bobby. He's not even looking for anything on Mr. Bumcrack. Ricky Bobby's going to look around the outside here. Can't quite get it done. There's a bit of contact on the exit, but Corey keeps it side by side as they head to the line. Karen will take P1. Evil Evo, P2, Old Wakey, P4 from DJ Brain. He ran out of fuel at the line. Bumcrack takes P5, Corey with a P6, and Ricky Bobby P7 with a fantastic battle all the way to the end there. Cruisin has run out of fuel and he's got a damaged engine in P8. He might lose out to Dadson here if he's not careful. The gap's coming down very quickly. 12 seconds, 11 seconds. That was the crash on the exit. Dadson will get him here. Killer on the loose, P10 with Black Project all over the back of him. This is a close one here as well. Cruising rounds the final corner. Will Dadson get him down to the...
Cruising's showing fuel for me, showing nearly a quarter of a tank.
He's got engine damage though, so he's definitely not going to be going too quick. Oh, it's showing fuel, you're right. I thought he had none. Dadson won't quite get him. Black Project's taken on. Killer on the loose, who's spun. He's had an incident.
Get him. Oh, bugger.
Oh, he's running out of fuel. Killer on the
Killer's
loose
out of
has
fuel.
run out of
Completely
fuel. Black Project, Debrev, P11 and Killer P12. An unfortunate result from the best team player on the grid. So Karen, P1 in the end. Evil Evo, P2. DJ, P3. And Old Wakey, P4. The top 5, 6, 7, it was just such a close race from start to finish. What an amazing battle these guys put on for us. Absolutely insane. P6 from the back of the grid against that sort of competition as well. A great result for Corey. But he's not quite got himself back to Group A, so he'll be disappointed with that, unfortunately. But very well done to all our drivers. I hope you all enjoyed tonight's racing. Make sure you drop your driver of the day in the chat now. Driver of the day to Karen from Pruski there. Old Wakey, I think, is definitely an option for that one as well. But a fantastic drive from all of our drivers, and it was probably the closest battle we've seen up the front from anyone, anywhere in Sector 1 in a long time. So, fantastic entertainment from start to finish for these guys, for us tonight. And we will see you all back again for...
I can't even get back to the lobby.
We'll see you guys all for Daytona next week when the Group A boys take it on. Should make for a very interesting change of pace. So I do thank you all very much for watching. Thank you for being here. I hope you've enjoyed tonight's entertainment. It's been a joy to bring it to you with the help of Good Doc and, of course, Jim Bob as well. And we will see you all again next week for Daytona Raceway. Thank you. Goodbye.